It's time for All In with Paul Jolovitz. Once a month, these two aces of the airwaves take to the road and broadcast live beautiful casinos, giving you the insider info on all your favorite Philly sports teams.
You'll find all of the news is here.
All In with Paul Jolovitz is an exclusive presentation of 1490 WBCB, your home on the radio dial in Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties. We now go live to All In. Here are your hosts, the pastor of the poker face, Paul Jolovitz.
And welcome, everybody, to, it's been a while, to All In at the beautiful Mount Airy Resort in the Poconos. We're here with Chris Ermer. Tommy Green will join us a little bit later on. Ben Jones from BCWSA. And we like to come here every couple months and do this show, talk some sports, have some fun at the casino, go to a great restaurant, promo everything. It all works. We haven't done it for a while. Thank you to Lee Alexander for making it work this time. And thank you to you, Chris, for always coming here because I don't know how to produce.
I think we got it set up. I think everything's working right. Man, it is great to see you, Jolly. It's been a little bit, and always good to be here at the Mount Airy Casino doing our all-in thing. But the last couple of times we were here, I think you missed it. I heard you were traveling, right? Were you in Europe or something like that?
I went to England, yeah. Amy and I went to England in November.
Awesome.
And which is phenomenal. I mean, London is just such an amazing city, and we went to Liverpool.
Did you have a cup of tea?
We did. You know what's? You're joking, but I'm serious when I say this.
It's tea time.
My favorite drink by far, I mean, a million times over anything else, is iced tea. I drink it everywhere. They don't have iced tea in England.
No, they have hot tea.
They have hot tea, so they said, we don't have iced tea. I said, just put a freaking ice cube in it. But they said, that'll ruin it, it'll dilute it. I said, whatever, I'll take it. A few restaurants did, but my buddy lives in Liverpool, went there, saw all the Beatles stuff, McCartney's house, Lennon's house.
Wow.
Penny Lane, the barber shop, the greatest advertising in the history of the world. Guy's running a generic barber shop in the middle of a road in Liverpool, and the most famous song, one of the most famous songs ever by the most famous group ever, talks about his barber shop, and for the next 60 years he's a celebrity. It was just a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, it's great to be here up in the Poconos and talking
by the way,
some
let me
Philly
interrupt you for 1
sports,
second.
maybe some Olympics.
Absolutely, but my fear was not put through. I don't think anybody here, I think Leaf was in fear of this. I think Ben was in fear of this. I think you were in fear of it. I think Tommy Green and Wendy were in fear of it. And that's that February 26th, Poconos, blizzard time.
Yeah.
And God gave us a wonderful day today, Chris.
Yeah, great weather today. I would think it might be a little challenging on the golf course here. There's still quite a bit of snow. So I'm not sure you can find the ball if you hit it pretty good.
No, but if you do come and you can find the ball, this is a beautiful resort. It's got gaming, obviously, but it's very nice. The restaurants are terrific. You want expensive, you want cheap, you want anything in between, you want any kind of food in the world. The rooms are beautiful.
I feel like here we find Jolovitz in his natural habitat,
the
poker room.
We're in the poker room
right now. The
poker
room here.
Yep.
You ever play here?
Yep. I'm going to play tonight after I get a little bit of sleep. I didn't sleep last night. I have a thing called frozen shoulder. It's just a condition where your shoulders get tight for no apparent reason. That's what the doctors will actually tell you. They can't figure out why.
Oh, that's crazy.
And nothing. I could have surgery, and they think that might work, but the recovery, I'm just not going to do it. But last night I didn't sleep a friggin' wink. I mean, zero.
We went down to Key West, and I had a little bit of an upper back shoulder thing going on, and I just could not get comfortable. No matter what I did, I was on one side, the other side. But, you know.
I'll tell you right now, if I wasn't married, I would have thrown a chair through a window last night.
I need my sleep.
Without question.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, literally, I was going berserk. I have a wife. I have hopefully a decorum about me a little bit, which wouldn't have been there without my wife, I guarantee you that. But we're here. We're ready to chat. And we're going to talk Eagles today. Obviously, the A.J. Brown thing, the Combine, new offensive coordinator Sean Mannion, A.J., Willie B. Dalt, Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, the whole 9 yards with that. The Phillies are playing today against the Nationals. Bryce Harper in the lineup for the second straight day. Talk about the Phils. They come to Clearwater. Flyers coming back after the Olympic break last night, lose to the Caps in Washington. Tonight they're at the Rangers Olympic celebration with the coach Mike Sullivan, J.T. Miller, and Vincent Trocheck. And the Sixers as well. Sixers are playing tonight. Who are they playing? I forgot. Sixers are, that's right, they're playing Miami at home. So lots to talk about. But first, Chris, we got to talk about the Olympics. I mean, I don't care if you're a fan. I know if people that are huge hockey fans, obviously they're going to watch.
Well, I want to talk about the Olympics, not just the
Okay.
U.S. men's hockey
Fair
team
enough.
and their success, which was awesome.
Yes.
But how about curling? Why has
I don't like
curling
curling.
taken over the broadcasting of the Olympics in such a way? There's a lot of other events that are going on. There's other stuff happening, and I'm turning on the channel. Curling, turn on. Oh my gosh!
Obviously,
people must like it. I mean, they
Yeah.
must get a decent ratings number.
That's what I
but
was
it
about
is automatically I'm turning the channel.
Yeah, I can watch it for 5 minutes. And I could a couple of Olympics ago, and it was a little bit of a novelty. Like you said, they take ratings and demographics to the T, and obviously people watch it. I want to know what you think about this, because I've said this on WIP before many times, and people call about it, and nobody's ever really debunked the idea. I don't think they ever stop. I think curling, there's never medal games. There's just curling. Nobody's ever in a gold medal match, a bronze medal match. They just keep playing, and then the Olympics end. And I think they go somewhere to some curling rink somewhere in the world, and all the countries keep going, and then the Olympics start again, and they come back. It never, ever stops. No medals are ever awarded. What's the point? Am I crazy?
I don't know. I saw something online where they're like put into a hyper freeze chamber, like Han Solo in Star Wars or something. They bust them out. They warm them up next Olympic Games.
I mean, there was a pharmacist. God bless the Americans. God bless anybody who makes an Olympic team for any reason. It's an awesome accomplishment, and I'm sure they have a great time. One of our curlers, I guess, I was watching, was a pharmacist from Minnesota. How does a pharmacist make an Olympic team? I mean, can you imagine, Jack Hughes?
Better living through chemistry.
But can you imagine, Lindsey Vonn, the downhill? By the way, she's a pharmacist. She skis on weekends right here at Mount Pocono. By the way, what about that? That was a shame.
Well, I mean, there's an element to that, though, that I want to talk with you about. The notion that Olympics are supposed to be for amateur athletes.
That's gone a long time ago.
Well, we need to bring it back because there's something that is important about the purity of the Olympic Games. It's not about winning. It's about participating. It's not right now, this notion of nationalistic fervor that surrounds the Olympics.
That's the way the world is.
I don't think
to me
so.
It is
it's
about
not
right.
always the way it has been. At
course
one
not.
point, we had amateurs in the Olympics, and we said, "Oh, we're not winning enough.
But
we need
don't
to
you
put our
know-
professionals in." Well, just because they were doing it doesn't mean we should do something that is basically against what the Olympic Games is supposed to be about.
I have an opposite point of view, and obviously I understand yours and grew up with it. But the Olympics, you want to see best on best. I don't want to see, if you have a miracle on ice, obviously that takes the cake
how
forever.
come you don't let the Russians in? Then there's all these political things that
That's
play
another
into it.
story for another day.
And all this other layer to it, which is.
And I hate politics, Chris. I mean, the whole thing with Trump, whether you like Trump or not, we're not going to talk about politics today, but the whole thing with the joke about the U.S. Women's Olympic team and Hillary Knight having to come out and talk about that, and the players of the State of the Union, and he gave them cheeseburgers, and that was a story. Stop with the politics in the Olympics. Can't people just play, do their job? You're Republican, you're Democrat, you're black, you're white, you're old, you're young. If you're American, you enjoy Americans and what they do, and maybe somebody else as well.
I mean, this victory was awesome, but it does not hold a candle to the miracle on ice.
Nothing.
In part because we were playing by the rules, and they were not playing by the rules.
Wow.
And then we said, you know what, we don't want to play by the rules either. Let's have the dream team go in there. Let's do this and that. And I just think it's
We did the
it's
dream team
corrupted.
because we lost.
It's corrupted the whole thing.
Of course it has. Nobody's going to deny
Right.
that.
Like so we lost. Is that the worst thing that ever happened?
But
Now we have to cheat? That's
First of all,
basically, we decided we're going to break the rules or change the rules
There
or
are no
change
amateurs
the
anymore.
paradigm.
High school kids get NILs. There's no amateur. Any
Well,
amateur
that would be a
some-
challenge. That would be a challenge in today's
But if you
world.
had an amateur competing, it'd be Freddie from down the street.
But
nobody at any level of any organized sport is an amateur. Like no one.
I mean,
unless
kids
you're-
that are in college at one time were amateurs.
Absolutely.
Now that has broken down.
Yeah.
But that we lost that way before. There was an amateur status that was in place that may not be there now, but it was there for many, many years.
Yeah,
and
but
for a long time, we said, you know what, we don't care about that anymore. We just want best on best. And that, to me, is not what the Olympics are about. The Olympics are about these people who they do work as an accountant. And they still decide they're going to be a cross-country skier, and that's what's awesome about it. Not that they're the best cross-country skier. That's what the World Championships are for.
I guess I disagree with you. I mean, the idealism is wonderful. Maybe you can have an Olympics for those kind of people, and if people want to watch it, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But the whole Dream Team thing is because we lost. John Thompson's team lost. We said, we'll send our best.
To me, that's the worst part of it, is that it's our sour grapes, which then said, we want to make sure we win, and we're going to change the rules.
That's for basketball and hockey.
Change
Every
the
other
landscape.
sport didn't work that way. The other countries all cheated to begin with. Everybody's getting paid. We were the only ones, and we were probably getting paid too. I don't want to be blind to obviousness, but let's talk about the hockey game. We can talk about that part all day, but what a special game.
All right, here's one thing about that hockey game.
Yep.
The kid who scored the
Both
first goal
hockey games, by the way, the women's too.
is getting he absolutely is lost in the shuffle. And everybody talks about Hughes and Hellebuck. They were awesome.
It's a hell of a play.
But this kid who scored that
Matt
opening
Boldy.
goal kept them in the game, basically made it a game.
Got him the lead.
And was the only goal they scored in regulation. And I just feel like his individual effort on that goal that was magic.
It was a magical goal. He went through two defensemen, by the way, who are the best defensemen in the world and one of the top 10. The guy who really kept him in the game was Hellebuck. I mean, he was absolutely unbelievable. Stood on his head, got beat by a perfect shot. You're going to get beat once in a while. That's life. But I mean, he's getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which decide what that one way or the other. But only 12 athletes have gotten that. He was just absolutely unbelievable. Canada clearly outplayed us. But that's the great thing about hockey. That's the great thing about baseball. You cannot hit anything, but if they don't hit anything, the other team can't score. They can't win in anything. And Canada did score, but the women's game went to overtime. People together watching that once every 4 years, that was special for that. The men with the semifinals over Sweden with Quinn Hughes and his brother Jack. People like hockey, people don't realize, if you're a hockey fan, the reason that this is the Olympics, Chris, is Quinn Hughes played for Vancouver. Played for Rick Tocchet last year. Now he plays for Minnesota. He was traded. He is, without question, one of the 5 best players in the world. The best player on the U.S. team without any question whatsoever. And nobody's ever heard of him unless you're a hockey maniac. Now people have, and the other Quinn Hugheses, and then people look up to these other kids. What do you think about that part of it?
I don't know. I just feel like hockey needs to capture this moment, and I don't know. What do you think about what do you think about single elimination action in NHL hockey? We have these 7-game series.
One game season?
No.
Oh, for the playoffs?
Yes,
no,
yeah.
No.
Where you get a bracket and you either win or lose. To me, there is nothing.
There's nothing better than that.
What erodes the playoffs, I think, in a lot of sense, is having a 7-game series that plays out over a week.
Unfortunately, Chris.
That's unless you get a Game 7, who cares? Like the outside, I mean, certainly Flyers fans would care if the Flyers were in the series. Montreal Canadiens fans, they're going to watch all 7 games. But outside of the hockey world, if you don't get an elimination game, what? Who?
Well, people watch, but I understand it's another idealistic thing you have, which is fine, and there's nothing wrong with it. But unfortunately, Don Ohlmeyer, and I say this all the time, the president of NBC Sports back in the day, said, and it's the greatest quote I've ever heard in my life about media. He goes, if the question's about sports, I don't care what the question is, the answer is money.
Okay.
And that's why we have 7-game series.
I disagree.
Simple as that.
I mean,
I disagree. That's why we have it.
I say if single elimination games draw more energy and excitement, then ultimately that will be more money.
No, it won't, because you have 7 games.
It'll be more TV
commercials.
Money. You would get millions more eyeballs on the product.
But the commercials are sold, Chris. This isn't magic. These people buy commercials over a 2-month period.
You could sell like a national game. It's not going to be like a local thing. So you make it more like a Super Bowl or the NCAA playoffs, as opposed to something that people that are outside of hockey just don't watch, don't care about.
And we're going to have a Pop Warner Super Bowl. I mean, I can't. I completely disagree. I love single elimination games. I agree with your point of view on that 100%. Hockey game, the Olympic final, men's, women's, whatever, it's a Game 7, obviously, by definition. Overtime in Game 7. By the way, overtime, let's talk about that. You cannot play. You can do whatever you want in the opening rounds. I'd still prefer regular Stanley Cup overtime. In the NHL, you play 3-on-3 for 5 minutes in the regular season. Nobody scores. You get a 5-minute, you get a shootout. In the playoffs, 5-on-5 forever, regular hockey. That should be in the Olympics. A gold medal for lasting forever. It's not like the other team's going to play in 2 days. Somebody's going to score in a certain amount of time. 3-on-3, I mean, the Canadians had such an enormous advantage with McDavid and McKinnon and Makar, the greatest players in the world. 3-on-3 is just an automatic scoring jubilee, and really whoever gets lucky first wins. Or what do you think about the overtime? They got to play 5-on-5.
Yeah,
and we won, and I still think that.
I agree. I mean, it changes the whole complexion of how things play out. And, kind of some sour grapes from the Team Canada talking about the overtime rules. I mean, they knew what the situation was going into it, and you got to just deal with what the the Olympics are a little bit different. The ice surface was
3 feet smaller.
Chris,
we've all done things in life. You have, I have, Lee has, everybody listening has. I don't care in what form, or it could be sports, could be out of sports, could be your job. We've all walked into situations where we think that the rules are cockamamie, but you do it because that's part of living. And Canada and everybody else knows this is the rule. It's fair for everybody. It's the same for everybody. So deal with it. I'm just saying, let's try to change it for next time.
All right, one of my favorite stories out of this Winter Olympics was prior to the games beginning, there was a story about ski jumpers and the fact that they were packing some of their personal areas with additional padding in order to expand their suits so that they could fly a little bit further.
That was great.
So out of that story, I found out that there are microchips in each panel of the ski jumper.
There's certain things I don't want to know.
Outfits. This is important.
Do we
stuff.
want to know this stuff?
Yeah. And they actually check. I don't know if there's any changes, if there's any alterations, and so I thought that was kind of interesting. What are you going to have
well-endowed ski jumpers winning gold medals even though they can't jump?
Yeah, that's what that was the idea.
Well, overall,
I love ski jumping too.
I love ski jumping. It's my favorite thing to watch. Hockey's my favorite Olympic sport. Ski jumping's right there because it's just so much fun. Never mind the guy falling on Wild World of Sports. If you're over 40, you know what I'm talking about, the agony of defeat. But in your opinion, here we go, because we've talked about this a lot in a lot of different places. I've asked people on the street, my family, what do you think, if you had to do one of the Olympic sports, what do you think is the most dangerous sport to do for actually living, not just breaking a bone or whatever, but living?
I don't know.
Luge, skeleton, ski jump, bobsled.
Luge and skeleton, those definitely would be candidates.
Luge
bobsled,
is backwards, skeleton's forward.
That seems a little bit scary. But how about those, I think it's called slope ski slope.
Ski slope,
where basically they go
short
off
track
of a gigantic ramp and go flying 50 feet up in the air, straight up in the air 50 feet. They do 5 twists and 6 somersaults, and they come down.
And they really do 5 twists and 6 somersaults. You're not exaggerating.
They come down on their skis.
I wouldn't.
I'm not sure if I would do too well in that.
All right.
I might lose my life.
The reason, let's go back to that, but let's flip to this because you made me think of this when you said the ski jumping, and that's a terrific point you made. Someone tried to ski during the Olympics, didn't have much success, but I think he brought a lot to the Olympics. Other people hate him. I like him. Second Olympics for NBC. What's your opinion of Snoop Dogg?
I'm not a big fan. I'm just being a Snoop fan. I feel like he is watering down his brand.
You talking about his music or him?
Just who he is as an artist. Prior to this, and what people thought of. I don't know. I'm not a Snoopster.
You don't pay him?
In part because what Snoop does is one of the things I dislike the most about the Olympic coverage. All of the human interest nonsense that goes on.
Well, you can't do nonstop sports. There's not enough.
I think
there's
a lot more.
The preliminary rounds in curling or something.
I just think they could do a lot more of the sports coverage and a lot less of.
Chris, it's on every channel all day, all the time. You can only show so much.
Having he had spaghetti or something. I don't know. Snoop goes to a restaurant. I don't care about that.
Yeah, with Martha Stewart, I saw that one too. Yeah, there's certain things that are obviously extraneous, but I think he adds something. $500G a day supposedly, obviously plus expenses. For $500,000 a day, unless I have to kill somebody, I'm not going to kill anybody or do anything that's going to endanger you know what I'm talking about. The thing. If I don't have to do that, whatever you want me to do, $500,000 a day. Tell me what to do, what to wear, where to be, and I have no problem doing that, no matter what it is. You the same way?
I mean, I guess, yeah, pretty much. But when I see somebody who's got, like, I don't know Snoop's finances, but
he's well off.
I'm not thinking that he needs to go on The Voice and on NBC Olympics coverage. Okay, all right.
Obviously, you can make tons of money and enjoy it. I mean, if I'm making $500,000 for this show, I like to do more shows than I'm doing now. I'm not going to lie. I think I pretty much have a common opinion on that. But the Olympics were successful. I think they promoted hockey in this country, which obviously is a sport that drew the most, and then plenty of others. And it was fun. Jack Hughes' life changed forever. He's not going to be Michael Ruzioni. 1980 was 1980, and anybody who lived through that. Let's just go back. For anybody listening, obviously you got to be 55, 60 years old to understand what we're talking about. I don't even know if you saw 1980, if you were old enough to have any idea what you were watching. I was.
I mean, the Miracle on Ice mythology drives me nuts because I just think it's way overblown.
Oh, I don't.
You know, people even say, you know, the country was moving in one direction and this game turned the country
right.
around. I mean, give me a break.
It didn't turn the country around, but there was a lot of the Cold War was. This country needed something. The country needed a shot of something in a terrible time in many areas for the country, and that was the perfect thing at the perfect time. It's hard to explain, but
the other thing you have to play into that is like we hated the Russians.
We did.
And like
Soviets, not Russians.
Well, whatever. People would call them. There was interchangeable terms at the time, and I just think now you look back on it, they were gonna fizzle out no matter what. Like
how are they gonna fizzle out no matter what?
Because their financial system was what
destroyed
them.
Yes. All right. Well, that's a different story. Yeah. But I mean, sports is a metaphor for all kinds of things, and the Miracle on Ice. You know, the David and Goliath, whatever you want to call it, Rocky Balboa. It was just a special thing.
I mean, do you put anything into the fact that the Russians were not allowed to participate in this Olympics, and there's a certain hollowness to a gold medal where a country that would have potentially been in the mix was not permitted to participate?
I'll be honest with you, Chris. I'm going to give you a very honest answer. I'm 100% Russian. All four of my grandparents were born in Russia. They all emigrated when they were very young. I'm not a fan of the Soviet Union, Russia at all. I have no problem with it at all.
How long has it been that the Soviets have not been able to participate in the Olympics? Because
3 Olympics now.
I mean, that's outrageous.
Well, then tell Putin to stop doing what he's doing. Stop invading countries for absolutely no reason. I mean, that's obviously they didn't choose to ban the Russians because there are too many people named Victor. It's because of Vladimir Putin, obviously.
Yeah, I guess so. And but before that, it was doping.
Well, that's pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, the East Germans.
So I mean, they're singled out for these things in a way that, you know, other nations. I mean, if you look at some of the foreign affairs moves we've made in the past little bit. I mean, especially
politics?
In Venezuela. Well, that's what we're talking about when it comes to Russia.
Well, I don't
right?
want to get into politics. I mean, you can talk about that all day and all night, but that's what it is. I mean, it's not a miracle, Chris. You look at track and field, which is obviously a summer sport. Olympics coming to LA in 28. Men's records every couple of years are broken. There are like 5 women's records that have been stood since like 1970. And it's not because the athletes were that much better. It's because the athletes were men, basically. And I think they kind of, with the doping, obviously they're always going to be a step ahead. But you cheat now, you take a risk because they're pretty good at catching you. Obviously, Paul George has nothing to do with the Olympics, but I just love the Olympics. I've always loved the Olympics. I went to Atlanta in 1996, not as a media person, but as a fan. I watched everything. There's a special, I can't explain it, when you're in an Olympic arena and your country wins. Because I consider myself a patriotic American. If it sounds hokey, I'm guilty as charged, but it's something very special. People to get together, and the world is together except for Russia and Kazakhstan, I guess, or was it Belarus? It's something special.
You think breakdancing's coming back?
Could. You never know. Every country has.
You've been working on your popping and locking?
Yeah. I don't think I'm a medal threat next time. LA has softball coming back. I don't believe breakdancing. That was Australia in 2004, was it?
Yes, yeah.
I don't
All
know.
right, how about we're talking about Olympics and the nations coming together in this awesome display of sport and sportsmanship.
Yep.
World Baseball Classic coming up.
Yep. World
And-
Baseball Classic, 11 Phillies playing for various teams. I mean, the obvious question that if you want to get to, I don't know what direction you were taking. We're kind of doing this. We like to just throw things out and not plan so much because it makes it more spontaneous. But Sidney Crosby, for example, he's out 4 weeks because he got hurt in the Olympics. World Baseball Classic or anything where the best of the best play, but not for their teams. The Pro Bowl, that's why they don't have a Pro Bowl anymore. And people don't want to play in the NBA All-Star Game or do the slam dunk. It's just part of the risk of doing business. I mean, yeah, I like the World Baseball Classic. I think it brings the world together again. I'll be hokey again. I think people in Dominican, maybe here we have a different attitude, but if you're in the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, which is part of the United States anyway, but they have their own team, it's very, very important there. There it's national pride. So, yeah, I like it, and you take a risk, but life's a risk, I guess.
I think this year there's going to be quite a bit of national pride on the line for the old US of A when you got Harper participating,
Yep.
Schwarber in there.
Yep.
I think more Philly fans
Turner.
definitely going to be checking out
It's 11
the
Phillies,
WBC.
isn't it? Yeah, a couple of them are minor leaguers playing for, like Aaron Nola's playing for Italy, you know that?
Oh, yeah.
It's like his 12th grandfather, 9 times removed.
Right.
Went to Italy once on a vacation for 3 days. Seriously, if you made it my sole job, you give me $1 million to not work and just make sure I participated in the World Baseball Classic as a member of the Malaysian team, I'm sure I could find a way genetically somehow to do that.
Well, maybe you need your dual Russian citizenship.
Dual Russian, yeah, I'd get that real quick. We're gonna take a break now.
Yeah, let's step aside here. You know, in case you stump me on any questions, we've got Stephen Lawler back at our WBCB
Our
studios.
man Stephen Lawler, how are you, buddy?
He can jump
Producer.
in.
Yeah. Steve, how are you? You there?
Doing great, guys. How are you?
Great. Do you speak English?
I try my best. I
Good.
went to college. They said I do speak good enough English, but I may disagree on that.
All right, Steve, you've been a producer for a while at this station. You do a great job. In general, obviously, we're going to ask you a question that you could answer in 20 minutes, in 20 seconds or a minute or whatever it is. Do you like the Olympics or not?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's cool just seeing a lot of sports that I typically wouldn't watch or really get exposed to. Like you guys have mentioned, like curling, luge, everything with slopes.
Speed skating?
It's definitely, yeah. It's such a crazy athletic competition, and I do enjoy the spectacle of it. And yeah, I think the Milan Olympics was a success.
Did either of you guys watch either the hockey? I watched the women's hockey final at a restaurant with 12 million other people. I watched the final at home. You guys go out with people or by yourselves for those games?
I was at home.
Yeah, same here. I was actually I was cleaning up around the house while I had the Olympics on.
Was Sunday morning? You can't wait till Sunday afternoon to clean?
Dude, hey man, I wake up and I'm like, let's throw it on, and then I'm keeping an eye on the TV, and I'm just going back and forth. You know.
Hey, Bobby,
I'm watching the
vacuuming?
guy
We just
go.
won the gold medal.
Yeah, you know what happens.
All righty, we're going to take a quick break. Chris, come back, talk some Eagles, talk some Phillies in the World Baseball Classic.
Yes.
Eagles at the Combine, a lot of interesting stuff going on there. Flyers, Sixers, March Madness coming up. Villanova's going to make it as an at-large, you think. You can't be sure because it's not us to make the decisions. St. Joe and Penn have outside shots, too. The Big Five, City 6 will be represented by 3. We are at the Mount Airy Casino Resort near Mount Pocono. If you're looking for the ultimate night out, the stage is heating up at Mount Airy Casino Resort, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. Saturday, March 14th, the Idol Kings, as they bring the legendary rock anthems of REO Speedwagon to life. Then, on April 11th, get ready for some 24-karat magic when Earth to Mars returns to Mount Airy's event center with all the Bruno Mars hits you love. Looking for a laugh?
Nice.
The one and only Victor Benedetto brings his high-energy comedy to the resort on May 16th. So from classic rock to funky pop, non-stop laughs, the best entertainment in the Poconos is right here. Tickets are going fast, so head to MountAiryCasino.com to grab yours today. All guests must be at least 21 years of age. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we're back right after this.
Opinions matter, and so do yours. Hi, I'm Joe Fabrizi, inviting you to join me every Monday and Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. for Opinions Matter, right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM. Join us as we tackle the tough New Jersey politics affecting you. We want to hear from you because your opinions matter.
I'm the threat that's already inside the house. I can't be scared away or negotiated with. You can't call the cops on me. You can't even see me. I'm the threat of family fire, and as long as your guns aren't stored securely, I'll be there. Protect your family. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
All right, listen up, team. Big game tonight. Launch of the Fideri News Network. Now every one of you's got a role to play, and I expect nothing short of perfection.
Sir, yes, sir.
Broad and Liberty. You fight for civic life like it's sudden death overtime. Investigations, truth-telling, defending the Republic. You've got heart. Politics PA, you're the seasoned vet. Since 2001, the go-to for political news. And now with that podcast, rock solid. That's why you're in the starting lineup. WBCB, you're my favorite. Bucks County's backbone. High school sports, radio, podcast, video. Now Philly Pro coverage with On Patterson. You're the engine of this team. Access Networks, you wild animal. Breaking news in minutes. Suburbs to the shore. No huddle, no delay. My pass rusher. Alone, you're strong. Together, you're a force. Sports, culture, politics, breaking news. You're restoring the public square. You're earning trust. That's why this team's called Fideri. To trust, to be faithful. This isn't just news. It's a covenant with the community. And tonight, we play for all of them. Visit www.fiderinews.com.
Rob's Automotive and Collision Center in Lower Bucks County is a full-service repair center with competitive prices, top-of-the-line products, and the finest auto body and mechanical repair technicians anywhere. Rob's makes repairing your car easy. Same-day service guaranteed. Whether it's an oil change, state inspection, or a mechanical issue, Rob's will have you in and out and on your way. 2700 Veterans Highway in Bristol, 215-826-9200 for 24-hour emergency towing. Call 215-826-0250.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. Every champion needs a good game plan. BCWSA and I want to make sure you have a game plan when it comes to conserving our most precious resource, water. Whether you're washing dishes, brushing your teeth, or watering your garden, there are ways you can save water and save money. Visit bcwsa.net for tips on conserving water. BCWSA, proven.
Looking for the ultimate night out? The stage is heating up at Mount Airy Casino Resort, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. On Saturday, March 14th, with the Idol Kings, as they bring the legendary rock anthems of REO Speedwagon to life. Then on April 11th, get ready for some 24K magic when Earth to Mars returns to Mount Airy's Event Center with all the Bruno Mars hits you love. Looking for a laugh? The one and only Vic DiBettito brings his high-energy comedy to the resort on May 16th. Hit the floor for non-stop gaming action. Find the hottest slots, the most popular table games, or place your bets in our state-of-the-art sportsbook. Ready to treat your taste buds to something truly extraordinary? At Mount Airy Casino Resort, world-class dining is always just steps away from the action. For those upscale evenings, indulge in prime steaks and handcrafted pasta at the award-winning Bistecca by El Molino, or grab a bold, flavorful bite any time of the day at Guy Fieri's Mount Pocono Kitchen. All guests must be 21 years of age. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We now return to All In with Paul Jolovitz. Now back to two guys who think a parlay is a place where you get ice cream.
Parlor, parlay, what the heck? Par and golf, you can play it here at Mount Airy. By the way, Il Molino, you heard in that ad, we're going to Bistecca by Il Molino tonight. Great Italian restaurant here, Chris. Great food. You have steakhouses. Guy Fieri's is terrific. Great food here at Mount Airy. And if you're ready for a getaway where you can be extraordinary, escape to the Pocono Mountains in the ultimate luxury of Mount Airy Casino Resort, Pennsylvania's first AAA four-diamond casino resort. Hit the floor for non-stop gaming action. Find the hottest slots, the most popular table games, or place your bets in our state-of-the-art sportsbook, where we basically are right now. Your perfect escape awaits. Find your thrill, find your flavor, find your luxury, only at Mount Airy Casino Resort. Book your experience now at Mount Airy Resort, MountAiryCasino.com. That's MountAiryCasino.com. All guests must be at least 21 years of age. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yeah, Paul, the guys back at the sportsbook just behind us, they threw a flag on our show because we have not talked about the Eagles yet. A Philly sports talk show that doesn't start with the Eagles. Sometimes, I don't know, just...
So the challenge flag has been thrown. Well, we're going to address it now.
Okay.
We talk about the risks of gambling, the risks of casino. Football's a risk. Sports is a risk. What do you do? What do you do with A.J. Brown? What do you do with the draft? What do you do with free agency? That's up to Harry Roseman now, Nick Sirianni. Sean Mannion, we'll talk about him as well. But the Eagles, do they overgo a makeover this offseason? Is it just a touch-up, which every team has? No team's the same. I'll start with this, Chris. We have a lot of Eagles points to make and hash out. A.J. Brown, Game 1, 2026 season. A, Eagle. B, not an Eagle.
I believe he will be an Eagle, but I want to have Steve Lawler jump into this conversation as well.
Steve Lawler can't play. He's not the ability. I mean, Steve can play, but I wouldn't have him instead of A.J. Brown. That's ridiculous.
That's
Steve,
a
are you
very
playing?
good point.
Yeah. So what do you think, Steve? Eagle, not an Eagle?
Man, I think yesterday I said it was all kind of nonsense, and I was quickly just throwing the fire out. And honestly, from what we heard about the agent, kind of shopping around or getting an idea of trade value, it does feel like it is trending towards him not being an Eagle in 2026.
Well, a point of view that I can't stand, and this has really nothing to do with the trading of A.J. Brown as an idea, but more how you do it, is some people say, well, the Eagles got to get rid of A.J. Brown like he's some kind of, I don't use the C word in the locker room, it doesn't belong, like he's a poison in the locker room, like he's doing this or that. First of all, everybody in the locker room likes A.J. Brown. He obviously had his problems last year with drops, with obviously the idea that he wasn't going all out, that he may be declining. Some people are saying you got to get rid of him, get what you can, almost like he's a Nick Castellanos. I totally 1,000,000% guys disagree with that. Your feelings?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I just think, I mean, one of the considerations is that they have Devontae Smith, and he's a potential -- level talent, Heisman Trophy winner. So they may have the luxury of being able to, have AJ as trade bait for assets and for future considerations, and to make this team better in some other ways.
What do you got? Well, you trade a guy, and then the other guy gets hurt, and now you have Vinny Bombats as your number one receiver.
Well, and you go back to your point about risk, and football's about risk, and I think this is what seems to be Devontae, no injury history. He's always out there. Could a guy get hurt? Of course, but when you look at the risk-reward, I think you could get a lot for A.J. Brown.
And Jolly, like you always say, nobody's untradeable, right? So
not.
They get the right haul.
And Howie said it, Steve Lawler. Howie said you always have to listen. That's all I mean by untouchable. Nobody's untouchable, not because you're going to trade Michael Jordan in his prime or whoever, wherever, whenever, because just listen in case somebody's going to make you an offer you can't refuse, give you more than you think. Howie says, does it hurt to listen? We were on the phones all 24 hours a day. It's my job. Do I not have time to hear somebody's offer? All I can do is say no. I mean, I don't think Howie's going to trade A.J. unless he gets a haul. He's not going to trade him for a fourth-round pick just to get rid of A.J. Brown, and I think teams know that. Obviously, Howie's talking him up now. talking about the great player he is at the combine and the like, because you want to sell other teams. You don't want to say, put your house on the market and say, we have flies and lice, it's about to blow up and the lawn's small, but here's it's on the market. You got to make it look good, Chris, right?
Yeah. And I think he is a very attractive potential piece to a team.
Sure.
So I think you can get a lot for
how lot
for A.J. Brown. I don't know. I'm
big
thinking,
financial hit before June 1, $43 million in dead money, which I think they're going to try to avoid. Although other teams have used more dead money, like Tua or Russell Wilson, but $16 million after. I think a trade before June 1st is unlikely. But what that does is gives teams a chance to draft and sign people in free agents, which makes the market smaller.
Well, and I agree with your point to go back to the poison and to the idea that A.J. Brown is a problem in the locker room for the Eagles.
I don't think he is, though.
Well, I think that they're clearly he was a problem this past year, right?
Not really. More with it was just the Jalen thing and people's perception of that. I talked to Merrill with
that relationship is like a pivotal one. If that's not a good relationship, then that is kind of a problem.
It is kind of a problem, but I think we overdo this, Chris. I mean, I think people overdo sometimes. You're going to have people in business, people in jobs that don't like each other, that have the professionalism to work together. If they're that good, if they're that essential, they're going to have to find a way to work together. You don't just get rid of them because they don't like each other. I don't think A.J. and Jalen hate each other. I think they have a little bit different philosophies. Mannion comes in, he's going to want good players to work with in his new system, which when he showed the Eagles his philosophy involved A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown may not be what he once was. Has he declined or did he just have a bad year? I think they get a second-round pick at least, but I don't think they trade him until June. But sports is there's a lot of people on a lot of teams. If you went to every team in every sport or every business everywhere, I guarantee you find two people that don't like each other but have the professionalism to work together.
No question. But I think if you looked at every NFL player as well, as they get later into the season, they do have some nagging aches and pains and chronic stuff that is bothering them, a back, a knee. I mean, AJ said some stuff about his knee in some of the, interviews that he's given that concerned me a little bit.
Like what?
About, like, that he had to get, like, extra treatment between weeks in order to get out there on the field. And
well, the NFL's a tough. I mean, I don't have to explain to you. Everybody gets hurt every week. It's a question of how bad you hurt. Are you injured? Are you hurt? Are you able to play? How are you able to play? But nobody goes through an NFL season feeling like a daisy. I'm
just wondering, like, Steve, what do you think? Do you think A.J. Brown was having some injury issues last season? Because, that could be a good thing that if you heal up and get better, then you get back to the form that you were in earlier in your career, or it's something that is going to reappear and show up again season after season and potentially pull down your performance level.
Yeah, I think definitely injuries in pro sports is like the killer because it will be a problem later down the line. It's just really about the severity, and you hope it doesn't cost you a season. And if AJ was dealing with some issue, then I think
he was.
That is, it's something to keep an eye on if you're the Eagles. Like, that, I mean, he is only 28 years old, but he's had a few remarkable seasons as an Eagle alone. And
Vrabel loved him from his time in New England. But listen, he's a terrific player. He obviously would be an asset to this team. The depth at wide receiver, they don't have a number 2 right now. They have to look in free agency. Would definitely harm the team. And I just think he's necessary unless you get a great haul, which you would do for anybody. I mean, period. I mean, if Mike Tirico called WBCB and said, I want to replace Jolly on All In, I don't think I'd be here today. and there's all kinds of people like that in every place, everywhere, right?
I like you better than Mike Tirico.
I don't think the NBC.
You never know.
Exactly.
You never know. But a lot of other issues involved.
It would be nice to be getting paid Mike Tirico money.
It would. He goes to the Super Bowl, does the Super Bowl, flies on a private jet, 12 hours to Italy, I'm sure with a bed, sleeps, gets ready. I know he works out in Italy, but you get a lot of money for doing a fun job. And
Yeah, he didn't
He's
have a
very, very good though, and a very nice guy.
He doesn't have a shoulder problem or an issue.
He may. I'll tell you what, Mike Tirico, I've met every broadcaster in the country at some point at Eagle game or something somewhere. And I met Mike Tirico about 5 or 6 years ago at a Sunday night football game. Said hi. I think we had lunch at the same table. There were 18 people there though, and a couple people said a couple things. Whatever. Nothing more happens. You go home. Next year, we're on Sunday night football against whoever, and I'm second quarter timeout. I have to go to the bathroom. I walk out. Mike Tirico's in the hall walking toward the TV booth, and nobody else in the hall. He goes, "Hey, Paul, how you doing?" I looked at him like, "What?" I mean, he must see 28 trillion people in a year, and even if he did have a great memory, to remember me, I was very, very impressed by that. That's a class that somebody shows. I like him a lot. Like Jim Nance.
Were you wearing a name tag?
No, I looked down for it. I said, do I have a, you always see the guy with the label that doesn't realize he has it on. No, I just like Mike Tirico a lot. I thought NBC did a good job with the Olympics. I really did.
Well, get back to the Eagles. A.J. Brown, major issue, but I think this team needs to look very closely at their offensive line and some of the
that's the problem this year.
Attrition that was a problem last year, but I don't know. I just think that some of the guys that they've counted on too are getting a little bit older.
Father time. Here's the issue, Steve. Let me ask you first. Obviously, Sean Mannion's brought in, and when someone comes in, even if they're 23, he's 33, played quarterback, has philosophies, supposedly the Mike Shanahan or Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay type of offense, Matt LaFleur. You want your own people. You don't want it with somebody else's people. And sometimes collateral damage sucks. And the collateral damage here that sucks was Jeff Stoutland, the best offensive line coach in the NFL, one of the best ever, if not the best. It's hard to judge for someone not actually in it, but the guys who play for him love him. And people are screaming about that. I think it's necessary collateral damage. I'm excited about Sean Mannion. I don't know what he'll be. No idea, but I'm optimistic. I think they needed change. They needed freshness, and they got it. What's your opinion of that whole thing?
Well, I think go ahead, Steve.
I think the transition really of Mannion, of course, the run game and pass game coordinators, Brazer and Mahaffey, certainly adds this new element to an Eagles offense that is big. But you're right, Charlie. I mean, losing Stoutland, I don't think is going to be magnified enough by the fans yet. I think it'll sink in pretty quickly.
He was going to leave sometime. He's not going to be here forever.
True. This is true. But I think based on what this offensive line has been so far, they've been great. And obviously last year was definitely a down year.
But Lane's back, playing again. Exactly. Hopefully Dickerson will be healthy. He's decided
both
to
of
play
them
again.
are going to be back. So
Jurgens.
it'll set the scene really for the offensive line, and hopefully not just get them going, but that should open up Saquon Barkley to have another huge season.
I mean, go back to the injury discussion. Has Lane Johnson finished a season in the last bunch? I mean, there's
a couple of years ago. It's a tough position to play. I mean, you get hit on every single play by a huge human being moving pretty fast, trying to kill you with.
I mean, I think this year he didn't finish it out, but the season before that, I think he had a sports hernia that he was working his way through. He was out there, but he was not the Lane Johnson that you see in the beginning part of the season.
Well, you get older and those things start to happen.
Well, these are things that I think as Eagles fans need to. I mean, we love Lane Johnson. This guy's the toughest guy.
But their record, Chris, is like 288 without him and 410-0 with him. It's not that obviously, but statistically they need Lane Johnson, and they haven't drafted a backup. I think they're going to draft an O-lineman probably at number 23, first in the draft. They were without him last year. All the people thought Jalen sucks, the play calling's horrible, blah blah blah. I think the root of the offensive problem was the offensive line. If you don't have an offensive line, you really don't have a football team, and it was highly average after being great and the best in the league for several years.
I think that Stoutland situation was terribly mismanaged, that there was no reason that he had to leave. Typically, you say he's going to leave at some point. Yeah. That's usually when the organization says, we're done with you, not when the guy says, I just want to hang it up.
You have that privilege.
Well, it was because of relationships that had soured. that's kind of what I heard from a lot of Eagles insiders, that throughout this season, they were trying to do some different things offensively. He was saying, I want to do things in this way. I don't want as much movement. I don't want as much gadgetry. It's throwing my guys off. And so he was kind of sticking to his guns. But somehow in between there, I feel like somebody's feelings got hurt. And I don't think that necessarily had to have happened in this situation where...
If you knew Jeff Stoutland, I think he's a big boy. You don't worry about his feelings getting hurt. I think the responsibilities thing is a bigger thing.
We all have feelings.
We all have feelings.
We all have feelings,
he's a
Jolly.
tough guy.
Even the tough guys have feel a certain way about how they're handled, with the respect they're given within an organization. I mean, that's the feelings. I'm not saying like he was like crying in his car or something.
Steve, if I told you there was, in my opinion, I'm kidding obviously, but I'm serious, 83% was what Chris is saying, Sirianni's and Stoutland's and the offensive relationship deteriorated with Patullo and the whole schmobile about what happened last year, even with the offensive line. And 17% is Sean Mannion saying, I want my own guys. I don't want an older guy that's going to kind of come up the works if I want to do something, because he's a Hall of Famer and I'm not going to tell him this, that, or the other. Do you think both of them had a significant impact?
I think it was probably more about Sirianni's choice than Mannion. Okay. It seemed like they kind of demoted him halfway through the point last year of the offensive line coach and then the run game coordinator, and it seemed like it was kind of heading down this path.
What is a run game coordinator, by the way? Jason Kelsey was
honestly,
I asked Jason Kelsey, he has no idea.
I think both coordinator positions, they sound genuinely manufactured to me.
Yeah, run game coordinator. What do you, when you call a running play, you don't have time to go, hey, we're calling a running play. Let's get Jeff.
Because what is the offensive coordinator for?
I mean, Jason Kelsey was asked that question. He goes, I really don't know what a run coordinator does. And he was a freaking center for 800 years. He played every game. Do you have any idea what a run game coordinator is, Chris?
I would only suggest that possibly their role is to work out the running back rotation, which sometimes...
Rotations.
Yes.
Saquon.
No.
Tank every 48th carry.
Right. Well,
later in the year, he played more.
That's his call. Saying Saquon, Tank, Saquon, whatever that rotation is, I kind of think that's where that role plays out.
To be honest with you, my wife could have been the Eagles running game coordinator if that's all it is. Obviously, you play Saquon 94% of the time. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. I think it's a lot more than that, don't you, Steve?
I mean, I think
the whole position,
that's one of the elements.
it sounds very just strange. I actually had to look it up because I talked about it on my show, and I said, I really don't know what these positions do. Because I have to wonder if these guys have essentially the passing element, the running element, what is the offensive coordinator supposed to do then?
I learned a long time ago, guys, when I was in college, somebody told me when I was interviewing as a senior, your business card means nothing, your power means everything. They can call you the President of the United States on your business card, but if you have no power, it doesn't mean anything. What is the power of the running game coordinator? What does he have as far as influencing the plays that are called, the philosophy that's used, the players themselves? I don't care what the title is, in anything, because there are people with titles that do nothing and people with nothing that do everything. You agree with that, guys?
I mean, somewhat. I do think that Stoutland held a certain role within the organization that was not just about the offensive line, but was about how the running game was playing out.
No question. But he didn't have an offensive line. How's he blamed for that?
But I mean, they changed his. I don't know.
Johnson was playing right tackle, but it was Fred, not Lane. I agree. I 100% agree with you on that. I mean, it's a shame that Stoutland's not there. And free agency coming up, you got some interesting decisions. I mean, the Combine this week, the Underwear Olympics. To me, there's two things that are important about the Combine. Screw the 40. It's one day in Indianapolis. You can be 300 or 400s off, feel good, feel bad. I would change two things about the 40. I'm dead serious about both, although one is totally impossible. One, run it in pads. I don't recall the last time I watched an NFL game where somebody was in shorts. Some people speed up or slow down less in pads than others. That's obvious. Number two, I like to have a cheetah chase the guy while he's running, because that's fear speed. You may have a problem on the other end with that, but the two things that are important about the Combine, in my opinion, the interview, you want to see what's inside a guy's head, especially with the quarterbacks, and the size, because every college lies too small, too big about everybody.
Well, we are about to hit the top of the hour, so we'll check in with a little network news here as we continue with All In from our Mount Airy Casino. And one of the things I thought was, I'd love to get your take. The UFL considering a 4-point field goal for field goals after
Explain to me
plus
what
60.
the UFL is.
I'm not sure. I think they're like another football league. They're like the spring football league. So some of the rules changes that the UFL has put in place, the NFL has adopted. So people now are saying, should the NFL look at a possible 4-point field goal for field goals beyond 60 yards? And I think not. But I want to get your take on it. And I have another proposal for you to consider when we return here.
You're proposing to me?
Yes. Yes.
I'm married. I don't know what I can say about that.
Heartbreak.
Yep. Could take a break soon, but I want to tell you about ready to treat your taste buds to something only extraordinary at Mount Airy Casino Resort. World-class dining is always just steps away from the action. Start your culinary journey with the ultimate variety at the buffet. Dive into the bold, fresh flavors of Pan-Asian cuisine at Lucky 8 Noodle and Sushi Bar. For those upscale evenings, indulge in purple steaks. Excuse me, purple. Why did I say purple? I have no idea. Dr. Freud?
I don't know. We had agreed to take the news at 3 o'clock, though.
Prime steaks and handcrafted pasta, the award-winning Brazer by Albisto Molino. We're going to be this evening. Or grab a bold, flavorful bite any time of day at Guy Fieri's Mount Pocono Kitchen. All guests must be at least 21 years of age. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And off to the news we go.
Warships in the region. Oman's foreign minister mediated the talks in Geneva and said there had been significant progress in the negotiation without elaborating. In the Senate, Illinois Democrat Dick Durbin says they agree with President Trump. Iran must not have nuclear weapons.
The notion of America going to war, the Constitution makes it clear the American people have the last word through members of Congress. If the president really wants to go to war, put troops in the field, he needs to come to Congress for authority.
Iranian state television reports Tehran is determined to continue enriching uranium and wants international sanctions lifted. A federal judge rejected a bid by a preservationist group to block President Trump's $400 million White House ballroom project. The AP's Sagar Magani has the story.
The National Trust for Historic Preservation sought to pause the project until it undergoes independent reviews and gets congressional approval, neither of which the president sought before demolishing the East Wing and moving ahead with construction. Today, a judge says the group's unlikely to succeed on the merits of its bid, saying the challenge was based on ragtag theories. The president's hailing the ruling as great news for America, months after saying the ballroom will live long into the future.
It'll be the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world, I think.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
Governor Tim Walz denounced the Trump administration's latest threat to withhold federal funds from Minnesota as another step in a retribution campaign. This is AP News.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive home and auto bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
Animals are dead in Ohio.
A fire at an Ohio hog farm complex has killed about 6,000 hogs. A large column of smoke could be seen in the distance from Fine Oak Farms in London. Fire officials say 2 of 5 large agricultural buildings were heavily involved in fire as firefighters arrived. and say that strong winds spread the fire. Crews ran water shuttles because the rural area has a limited supply. Firefighters brought the blaze under control in 5 hours. No one else was hurt. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Researchers say the vast majority of organ donations once came from people who were brain dead, but last year about half of the deceased organ donations came from people who died when their heart stopped beating instead. Researchers at NYU found wide geographic variations in what's called donation after circulatory death, suggesting it could be possible to further boost life-saving transplants. I'm Ed Donahue.
You're listening to 1490 WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.3 W297CL Levittown.
We now return to All In with Paul Jolovitz. Now back to two guys who think a parlay is a place where you get ice cream.
All right, back here at Mount Airy Casino Resort, All In. Second hour, having a great time. Jimmy just stopped by from the sports book, having some fun, playing some poker, enjoying a casino day. Not a lot of skiing out there, but hopefully if it skis a little bit on Mount Pocono, a lot of skiing in a couple more weeks in March. I'm not going to lie, I'm not really anxious for winter to keep going. We've had a brutal winter.
It seems like a good ski day. No?
Well, if there's snow, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Well, there's snow a couple days
There's
ago.
snow up
yeah,
here.
there should be. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
I think we went right by Blue Mountain when I was coming by here.
By the way, I don't know if you guys watched the extended forecast. I never believe a weather forecast, but I look. I don't know why. I can't give you a reason for that. Next Saturday, what's the high supposed to be in Philadelphia?
Next Saturday?
71 degrees.
Wow.
So you figure whatever, 60, 65. I can't wait. Cannot wait. But the summer, Mount Airy is tremendous also. They got golf. They got all kinds of activities. The winter skiing, the summer golf, all kinds of other activities around here.
What do you
Great
think the
place.
summer's going to be like for those Philly fans, Jolly?
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. I mean, they're kind of running it back. I mean, you obviously got Painter and Crawford. I don't think Aiden Miller is going to play a big league game this year. I'm different than most people. Obviously, you can have injuries that change that. I don't think the kid's ready. I just don't. I see them doing with him what they did with Crawford last year, unless they trade Bohm and just give him the third base spot, which I don't think you do. Winning's the most important thing, not seeing how the young kids are. But they kind of ran it back. I mean,
almost completely running it back.
Yeah.
With some, fresh energy from the farm. But did they do enough?
No. I mean, listen, to me, and I say this on WIP all the time, the only thing that matters, of course you have fans, but Philly has great fans. They're going to go to the ballpark. They're going to buy everything. They're going to fill it up every night. So it's not a money thing. It doesn't matter who plays for them. I could be the center fielder. They come out to the ballpark. They could go 162-0 this year. And may God be my witness as I say this. It won't matter a bit, because the only thing that matters is what they do in October. First game, they're 2-8 in the playoffs the last 3 years in the first round. I don't care if they win 96 games, 106. Obviously, the Mets are a challenger. The whole playoffs are a different story. It's all about the pressure of the playoffs. Sports is about winning championships, not getting to a conference final, not getting anywhere. Winning championships. Agree or disagree?
I kind of disagree. I mean, I agree.
Why?
Well, because I think there's a lot more to sports that's important.
Well, there's more that's
than just
important,
winning.
of course.
Well, you said that's the only thing that's important.
The only thing that matters.
No, I disagree.
You play to win the. You play. I feel like Herman Edwards. You
do
play to win the game.
But if you lose, you still participated and you still
Oh,
did
you're not
your
a
thing.
participation trophy guy, are you? Please don't tell me you'd ever give participation trophies to kids for anything, anywhere.
I don't think there's anything harmful about it.
Oh God.
Joey,
you suck.
I
Here's a trophy
bet
for
you
finishing 18th.
receive like patches and other things to commemorate the fact that you were in a league.
I don't think I ever got a participation trophy for anything.
You may not have called it that, but you did.
I don't think I did, Chris. I know.
Okay.
I when I was a kid, I don't think that concept existed. I mean, remember Meet the Fockers where Robert De Niro comes up there and goes, Joey's got a plaque on the wall. He finished ninth. Ninth? What the heck's this all about?
Well,
He didn't say heck.
I mean, should they give a bronze medal?
Sure.
Why?
not? Third in the world? That's not ninth in the.
Right, but you're saying the only thing is winning.
Well, it is
And
to me. I don't think. You think the Canadians are happy with their silver medal?
Chris,
no,
for
but
what it's
then they
worth,
shouldn't
I
count.
don't think we should count anything after silver, so I'm kind of with Jolly in the participation trophy camp.
Well, listen, I wouldn't be if I would be. I'm not going to lie. I'd be happy to win an Olympic silver medal, but I'd be more upset that I didn't win the gold. I mean, you want to win, but you can't just say the winners get everything and the losers get nothing. But the Phillies this year, Chris, they're running it back. What's the batting order going to be? How's Harper going to fit in? Is he going to be the Bryce Harper of old? I had no problem, none, zero, with Dave Dombrowski's comments last year about Harper and the presser. He was asked about him. He didn't volunteer it. He was not incendiary. He said he wasn't elite. Hopes he'll be back to an elite season this year. Harper got all upset about it with his shirt, and it's kind of dragging on. What's your view on the whole thing?
I don't know. I'll go to Steve on this one. I tend to I don't know what Dombrowski's comments, what benefit they had. Or,
he was asked a question. Was he not supposed to answer it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Why?
Because in a corporate sense, there are questions you're not supposed to answer.
No, not that one. I don't believe it.
Yeah, I think the logic is most people would have preferred he lied or at least misguided.
No, not me.
Idea.
We have Ben Jones here from BCWSA, who's the CEO and has been that since 1848. I'm sure Ben has said stuff about people that work for him that aren't necessarily complimentary because it's true, right? You're an honest guy.
I agree. I appreciate Dave Dombrowski being honest about this, and honestly, nobody.
I mean, the guy was hurt.
The principal.
He wasn't even able to be out there.
We had a risk
so
throw.
when he was out there, he still put up decent numbers.
And he's a great player, but he didn't put up Bryce Harper numbers.
And I think giving him this year to really bounce back and get back to what we expect for Bryce Harper, that's really on Bryce now. Like Dave can say what he wants, but we all kind of feel it and knew it, and we do expect him to get back on the train here. So I think the comments blew up, and I think it was taken a wrong way. And Bryce, of course, felt a little ticked off and felt like it should have been kept in-house.
All right, Steve, answer this question then. Bryce Harper has been the golden child since day one. He's been the best player at every level he's been at his entire life. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated when he was 4. He's never been told, kind of like Tiger Woods, he's never been told, hey, maybe you should do it this way. You were wrong. Has he developed this exterior, this Teflon that don't ever criticize me? Because I think he has, and I think he heard it, and I think that hurt his feelings like the rest of the world where people get criticized all the frickin' time.
Yeah, I think it definitely is a factor, and I think what plays into it is the asking for contract extension and not getting it. And
shouldn't get it. Would you either of you guys
honestly,
give him an extra
I
cent?
would not have. I think if you sign a contract, you sign a contract for years and money, and unless the team decides you've been playing out of your mind, i.e. Kyle Schwarber, then you can get an extension. But Bryce has not played like that, so I don't know why he feels...
wasn't he just the MVP fairly recently?
But he's got 5 more years. He's 33. Let him play till he's 38 and then see.
I mean,
I'm not worried about him going anywhere in 2098 or whenever his contract runs out.
So, Chris, that was 2021 season.
Yeah, 2021 is the MVP. But he's got to have a good...
I think Bryce is phenomenal, and I'm a very big Bryce Harper guy, but I think there's you kind of have to take your lick, as they say, for this one. If he feels like there was a slight mate towards him, then go out there.
There was. Go out and prove yourself wrong. I mean, prove
exactly.
him. I mean,
go out there and ball out.
And you think that he doesn't hear criticism? He hears criticism all the time.
Yeah, but
you
not
don't
from
have to
his
hear
bosses.
it from your boss.
From
that's where it's not helpful, and I don't know. I just think that
Chris, Lee and I were talking about this on the way over
relationship.
Here. Coming to Mount Airy today, Lee and I were talking about this. And if I kept calling Bryce Harper Bryce Phillips the entire show, and you kept saying Harper, and I kept calling him Bryce Phillips, and after the show you said, boy, you suck today. You kept calling Bryce Harper Bryce Phillips. I just say, you know what, you're right. I did, and I'll try to do better next year. That's Bryce Harper. I mean, you're just being told you weren't great. He didn't attack him. The press conference was not to talk about Bryce Harper. He was asked a question. He gave the answer in a calm, monotone tone. And then Dave Dombrowski has not done a great job here. I think part of it's the fact that that's the case to begin with. People like to lump on Dombrowski. I have no problem with it. But getting the bigger picture, the top of the order, Schwarber, Turner, Harper. The bottom of the order was awful last year. It was awful in the playoffs. Did they do anything to improve it? I mean, they got Adolis Garcia. What else they do?
there's a hope and a prayer for this team. I think this year there's a lot of intrigue with Justin Crawford. You guys mentioned a little bit.
A lot of intrigue with him, yep.
I think he's the one standout guy. I have a higher hope than most for Adolis Garcia. I think he's going to have a nice season, and I know Bohm's going to start off as the cleanup hitter, but I really feel like Garcia is going to work his way into that picture. But to Bohm and like guys like Marsh and Stott, these are just not great ball players. Like, they are who they are, and it doesn't feel like in those areas we're going to see a dramatic improvement.
By the way, guys, Dombrowski also called Bohm and Stott yesterday not great players. He said they do what they do.
And he's
I have
not
no
even
problem with that
entirely
either.
wrong.
Not wrong at all.
He's being very transparent, which maybe we're unaccustomed to a boss saying that, but I like the fact that not necessarily throwing them under the bus, but being real. Like, look, if they were better, we wouldn't even be talking about them right now. But they're underperforming, so we should have a conversation.
All right, Chris, I'm a cleanup. Alec Bohm's a cleanup hitter, like I'm a soprano at the Metropolitan Opera. How does he hit cleanup in the middle of a major league lineup on a team that's expected to do something?
I'm not sure. I mean, he's basically been in the middle of the lineup for his whole career.
Yeah, and what's it done? I mean, he's
I don't know,
okay.
he's like
Nothing wrong with Alec Bohm. He's a decent fielder, and he's improved there. I give him credit.
I mean, he's a potential 300 hitter.
No, he's not.
No?
I don't care what
I
your
think he'll
batting
finish
average
around 275.
And he's like a 25
batting
home
average is the
run
most
guy.
overrated thing in the world. How many runs do you produce? I mean, if he's 275, doubles are fine. Produce runs. If you're a cleanup hitter, you obviously have to produce runs. But you want to be that guy that has the 3 home run, 9 RBI game once in a while. The guy that
who would be the cleanup hitter?
Schwarber, if I'm running the team. But they don't really have one. I mean, the bottom of the lineup is bad no matter
Schwarber
what.
is like a prototypical cleanup hitter.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to make that call, that's fine. But I feel like that's not what he wants to do.
But I think that the problem with the Phillies is your top 4 hitters could hit back-to-back home runs every game, and then the problem would be 5-9, and you lose a game 5-4. I don't think they did a lot to improve that. I mean, Crawford is going to be huge in center, defensively as well.
I'm not worried about having back-to-back homers.
I'm not either, but I'm just saying that the philosophy with that. I mean, the expectations are key. The longest word in sports is not anti-disestablishmentarianism. It's not supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's expectations. What are your expectations, Chris Ermer, for the Phillies this year?
Potential wild card team.
That doesn't say much for a team that's been in the playoffs 4 years in a row.
I'm
Are they a
division
World
winner.
Series? I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, injuries, acquisitions at the deadline, guys having better or worse years. Could they realistically have a shot at a World Series?
You got to get to October. If they get to October, I give them a chance.
I mean,
against
baseball
anybody.
is crazy. No one would have said in '93 that team could do anything. They were in last place in '92.
And Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick, but there's
Yes.
8 million other 6th-round picks that weren't Tom Brady. You
I
can
mean,
always find the one.
There are elements on this team that would say, yes, this is definitely a team that could be a World Series team.
Could,
Yes.
absolutely, without question.
No question.
But do they give them a better chance than last year, where they got wiped out?
No.
They were terrible in the playoffs. I mean, Painter's going to be a huge key this year. He had Tommy John, the biggest prospect in the history of the Phillies, without question. Can he come back and be a top-of-the-rotation guy to start his career? He's under a lot of pressure, Chris.
I mean, he's just the latest big prospect. He's
the
no
biggest
bigger than so
yeah.
many other Phillies.
No, he's the biggest prospect ever.
Okay.
I mean, you talk
I
to
think-
guys, scouts and everything, the biggest of all time.
You're right about the expectations, and for Painter, that's a big one where I can't set the expectation that he's going to be this world beater, and knowing this rotation doesn't have a Ranger Suarez anymore, it is going to be certainly flawed. I just don't see how they can be as good as they were last year, but the bullpen is demonstrably better. I think you got some intrigue with Crawford,
I
Painter.
agree.
And you mentioned, I don't think Miller probably sees the field barring injury or awful play, but the young guys, I think, in a few tweaks, have created a little bit of intrigue. But you guys know this team. It's pretty similar to what it was last year, and the reasons we lost the last several years, those pieces are pretty much still here. So, like, that mentality hasn't left me. So, although there is a little bit of difference, it's kind of the same.
Well, one piece that we had last year is in the final year, Nick Castellanos, another thing we got to, but Taijuan Walker pitched today, 2 innings, 3 hits, a run. one strikeout, no walks. As the Phillies lead the Nationals 7-3 late in this one. Home runs by Stott and Harper. Nice little spring training win. Looks like it's along the way, but Walker is going to be a huge key for this team, Chris. The fifth starter is way more important than you realize. Not just wins and losses, eating innings, saving that bullpen. I do agree with Steve that the bullpen has been improved. Keller looked good yesterday. I think he's a good pitcher.
Yeah, I'm not feeling like Taijuan Walker is going to be a major player in an important playoff run for this team.
But he could be a fifth star. Fifth starters you're not going to find many good ones in the major leagues. Most of them
look
are
at the
Taijuan
rotation
Walker.
now. Like when going into, because we don't know when Wheeler will be back. I mean, going right now, you got Sanchez, Luzardo, Nola, Walker. We know Painter should be ready, but like that's your five. Like that is not a good starting. Like I should say it is a good starting.
Yeah, it
rotation,
is very good starting.
But
rotation.
you have between Nola, Walker, and Painter, and even when Wheeler returns, there's too many unknowns and uncertainties. It is a very shaky rotation.
But you have a
I would've
closer to
preferred-
start the year with Duran. You
Yes.
didn't have that before. Topper knows where he's
True.
going late in the game with leverage. Couple lefties, Banks and Alvarado back from his suspension. I actually like the bullpen. I think it's good.
Me too.
What's the Phillies' biggest thing that you think will bite them at the trade deadline? What are we going to be talking about in 3 months when we hear it all in July, saying the Phillies need blank, assuming there's no injuries? What do you think blank would be, Chris?
Starting pitching. I don't know where they would get it from at that point, but I think the rotation seems like it's got some flaws and some holes that may need to be patched up.
And you never can have too much depth. I mean, you don't want to see
I'd
Nola
say
get hurt in
probably the starting pitching, but I really, really hope it does not come into like the middle infield situation. Like Bohm or Stott are just playing terrible because you don't
Bohm's not a
necessarily
middle
want to bring
infielder.
up Aiden Miller yet, and there's no good options. Like it's that would probably be the worry for me. But in terms of improving at the deadline, I think getting a starting pitcher seems very fine for the Phils.
A right-handed power bat.
You look at the Dodgers, who used 11 starting pitchers last year. People think you get a 5-man rotation, you're set for the year. Far from it. These guys get hurt, things happen. The right-handed power bat, Chris, is very key. Enough, please. Thank God he signed with the Guardians. This Rhys Hoskins garbage.
Yes.
Jeez. Forget the nostalgia thing. People want
Jolly.
Zach Ertz back with the Eagles.
Oh.
Rhys Hoskins. Forget nostalgia. But they do need a right-handed power bat, Chris.
Yeah, and he's a right-handed power hitter.
Who can't field, he can't hit lefties, he's inconsistent. He'd be a horrible fit for this team. Thank God he's a Cleveland Guardian. Great guy. I love Rhys Hoskins, but I love you too, and I want you playing for the Phillies. Not a Rhys
Jolly,
Hoskins
I
guy at
wanted
all.
the Phillies to get Pete Alonso in the offseason.
I did too.
I think he's more so than Schwarber, a stronger power hitter, and he fits the bill for everything they need. They didn't get him, and it seems like a guy like Rhys Hoskins kind of is in the mix, and I understand that.
Rhys Hoskins and Pete Alonso should never be in the
I
same
agree.
sentence. I'm
I
not.
agree.
Pete Alonso's not, all-time great. We're not talking that, but Rhys
True.
Hoskins is a journeyman. Simple as
Yeah,
that.
and for what this team needs right now, I just don't see how Hoskins could actually fit in a lineup or as a designated hitter. I really don't see how it works.
Harper talked about, Chris, the World Baseball Classic, March 4th to the 17th. They'll be away from camp. Some other kids will get a chance, obviously, to get looks while those guys are away. Harper talked about Aaron Judge hitting behind him in the U.S. lineup like he's some kind of lock to hit third. The U.S. line was pretty damn stacked. I don't think Harper is a lock to hit third. Where do you think he hits in this? What's going to be a great lineup?
I don't know.
I don't think he's going to hit 3. I'd be very surprised if he does.
Well, I mean, his point is that he doesn't get a lot of protection from the lineup that he plays in with the Phillies, and it's a pretty apt point. I mean, he's accurate. He gets pitched around a lot, and
part of who you are.
I guess so. Unless you have somebody who's behind you who also is a threat, and then it becomes a different calculus to pitch to you.
Barry Bonds and Jeff Kent had that problem in San Francisco. Obviously, Bonds is a better player than Kent, who just made the Hall of Fame. But still, you're going to be a great player without protection sometimes. I mean, you're going to have a great engine with a car that doesn't have a hood that looks like it was painted by Picasso. You just got to do with what you have all you can, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's move
Pretty
along.
much.
Moving on to our Sixers.
That's what we're doing here at the Mount Airy Casino.
We're at the Mount Airy Casino Resort again in the poker room. Beautiful Mount Pocono nearby. All kinds of stuff to do here. You could spend a week here and not do the same thing twice. Bistecca by Il Molino, great restaurant. I like Guy Fieri's too. You ever been there?
No, I don't think I don't think so.
Great milkshakes, great late night snack place. 24 hours. Poker room's open until 4 in the morning. That's the only game I play in the casino is poker. So we'll see. At least get your 3-card poker nightly. Lee Alexander playing 3-card poker, getting unlucky. Usually,
he's a let it ride guy.
Not 3-card poker. Let it ride. Yeah, exactly. Which kind of is 3-card poker. But Sixers have let it ride this year with Joel Embiid.
I mean, where do you think Harper is going to hit in the WBC lineup? I mean, what kind of question is that?
Well, because he made the comment that I'm looking forward to Aaron Judge hitting behind me. I don't think he's going to be hitting behind me.
Well, how am I supposed to know where he's going to hit in the lineup?
Well, I don't even know the lineup yet. I don't know. But I 5th, 6th.
Who's on the roster?
It's going to be a hell of a roster. I don't know exactly who yet, but we're stacked. I know that. I hope he does hit third. I hope Judge is behind him. I hope the Phillies all look great. They're playing for every team in the world. And let's say the World Baseball Classic comes down to U.S. and Dominican Republic, U.S. and Puerto Rico or something. But you can forget it's not going to be like the Olympic hockey game, but what is the World Baseball Classic final going to mean to you, do you think? Lee Alexander on the mic, Chris Ermer, Steve Lawler back at the station. Will the World Baseball Classic be must-see TV, or when's this thing going to be over?
Well, before you move to the World Baseball, I just felt like I had to jump in here because I got a hot take for you going back to your Phillies question about right-handed power.
Wait, you want to see 4-point field goals?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, don't want to see that. I'm going to give you a hot take.
Okay.
They already have the right-handed power hitter on the team, and he's going to be the breakout player of this year, ahead of Painter, ahead of Miller, and ahead of Crawford.
Don't say Adolis Garcia.
Nope. Otto Kemp. Otto Kemp is going. You watch.
He's a decent player.
You look at his numbers. Wherever he's been, he's raked, and he hits the ball hard. He is going to be. It would not shock me if by the second half of this season, when he's in the lineup, he's your cleanup hitter.
To me, that would
just
be
remember
a problem.
this.
I like Otto Kemp, but to me, he's.
I had arguments 2 years ago with people that he's an unsigned, drafted free agent. He's never going to make the major leagues.
He played 162 games this year. He's never hurt. Let's say he starts at some position all year.
He played last year. He was hurt. He played last year with a bone chip in his knee and also a shoulder injury.
So what do you expect his numbers to be with a full year? What kind of player are you expecting?
I think he's going to start out the year platooning with
in
Marsh.
Left field, sure.
Yeah. So, but I think he has the ability to be an everyday player.
Is he a 40 home run guy?
He could be.
I can't see.
I think he could be.
Anybody could. And that's the magic that spring training is. Anybody could be anything.
I think he's the guy everybody's overlooking, and although Dombrowski did mention him at the end of the year last year as a guy that they're really high on, and I think he's right to be.
Well, I got to give Steve Lawler credit because Steve Lawler always says Otto Kemp is the only Philly whose first name is spelled the same, frontwards and backwards. Yep.
Yes, sir. I do say that.
But to get back to your question about the World Baseball Classic,
yep.
That final game will mean very little to me as a Major League Baseball fan, honestly, whether the USA is involved in it or not.
Even if a bunch of Phillies are involved?
I will be from a Phillies perspective. I'll be checking it out to see how everybody's looking and that everybody nobody gets hurt and everybody is feeling good after the game is over. But I'm not going to be, in part, what's beautiful about the Olympics is that there's such a rich tradition behind it. And whether it's the Four Nations tournament that they did for the NHL or this World Baseball Classic, it's cool, but it's still in a fledgling state. And I got to see how things play out over a number of years before I really buy into it being something that I can sink my teeth into.
And Lee, there's no real time to do it. I mean, obviously you do it in spring training. With the pitching and whatever. You can't do it in the middle of the year because you'd be risking a whole lot. After the season, everybody's tired. You find the time, but I kind of agree with Chris.
I'm with Chris. I couldn't care less about the WBC, to be
I
honest with you.
care, but not.
The only thing I
a
care about is
huge
what he
amount.
said, is that the Phillies players get out of it injury-free. That's the only thing I care
Remember
about.
how last one ended?
Yep, can't be like Edwin Diaz.
Do you remember how last baseball classic ended?
With Ohtani.
Ohtani struck out Mike Trout, his teammate,
Yeah.
Which was kind of special for Angel fans at that time. What's special for Sixer fans at this time would be Joel Embiid to play, and the Sixers to play as a team with the lineup a couple weeks in a row. They played tonight against Miami, couple wins in a row, 4 losses in a row before that. They're an elevator, up and down, up and down, up and down. We're going to talk about that when we come back, Chris, because I have absolutely zero confidence in the Sixers whatsoever. Daryl Morey is the worst general manager on God's green earth. Traded Jared McCain. Nice move, Daryl. A week ago, it should have been buyers. They were sellers. But we'll talk about that and much, much more. And you got a great idea about the UFL. Tell everybody what it is real quick.
Well, they were talking about a 4-point field goal coming to UFL football, 60-plus yard field goals. All right, maybe not for the NFL, but I would like coaches to have a 4-point try at some point in the game. And it could be from anywhere on the field.
What do you just say? This is my 4-point try?
Yes.
Then you're going to turn into roulette.
Nope, because
Yes,
you only
you
get
are.
one. You get one opportunity.
And what you might have, Chris, is a team on the 41-yard line, 3rd and 29.
Perfect.
Losing 2 yards on purpose so they can try a 60-yard field goal.
No. It doesn't matter where you take the field goal from. You can take the field goal from anywhere on the field, but you get one 4-point try. Because I don't like incentivizing the 60-plus yard field goals. To me, that is where it's going to distort the game, where you get guys at the 50-yard line and they feel like they can put up 3 points. I don't want to see that.
Do you get
but
extra
I like
points
the
if the guy's name
strategy
is Murray?
elements.
I mean, at some point you got to stop the cockamamie. Whatever.
I mean, at one point you could only go for one in NFL football, and then they said, you know what? Let's do the college rules, and you can go for 2. Things change, and I would love to see a little wrinkle potentially where you could get additional strategy.
Nobody would do it because they'd all wait till the
You'd
end
wait.
of the game and
Exactly.
see if they needed it.
Perfect.
Nobody's going to do it in the first quarter.
That's fine. Good. So and it adds an element of strategy and adds an element where it comes to like comebacks and being able to have a 4 instead of a 3 in there. Something to think about.
We need an element of advertising that we're going to get to. Ben Jones, the CEO of BCWSA, with his baseball cap. He's lost a bunch of weight. He'll tell us about that when he comes back. This is All In from the Mount Airy Casino Resort in beautiful Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania. We're in the sports book where it's fantastic. Have fun, and we're back. Chris Ermer and myself, Steve Lawler, Ben Jones with us right after this.
Children's mental health is in crisis. That's why the Kids Mental Health Foundation envisions a future where mental health is a vital part of growing up. Parents tell us the challenges are real.
So you know what to do if they have a fever. But when you see them struggling emotionally, and you're like, what do I do?
You're gonna find tons of things on the internet, but you want it to be from a trusted source.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation provides free, expert-developed resources to millions across the United States. Don't wait for a concern or crisis. Learn more at kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org.
Learn everything you need to know about your health during Capital Health Watch with Dr. Stephen Vanny of Capital Health Primary Care Newtown. Listen to Dr. Vanny the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of each month at 1 o'clock on WBCB, 1490 AM and 107.3 FM. Call in with any health-related questions at 215-949-3232.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
I'm Henry Carpenter, certified elder law attorney, and we're Bucks County Elder Law. Has someone told you you need to give away your assets to protect them? This is not true. If you transfer your home or other assets, you will lose control over them forever. You'll risk losing them to your children's bankruptcy, lawsuits, or divorce. You will also risk becoming ineligible for Medicaid for up to 60 months or more. Is your attorney qualified to protect you? At Bucks County Elder Law, we are. We invite you to call us today to schedule a free initial consultation and to join us each Tuesday at 9 a.m. for senior legal strategies right here on WBCB. Also, please visit our website at buckscountyelderlaw.com.
Rob's Automotive and Collision Center in Lower Bucks County is a full-service repair center with competitive prices, top-of-the-line products, and the finest auto body and mechanical repair technicians anywhere. Rob's makes repairing your car easy. Same-day service guaranteed. Whether it's an oil change, state inspection, or a mechanical issue, Rob's will have you in and out and on your way. 2700 Veterans Highway in Bristol, 215-826-9200 for 24-hour emergency towing. Call 215-826-0250.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. Every champion needs a good game plan. BCWSA and I want to make sure you have a game plan when it comes to conserving our most precious resource, water. Whether you're washing dishes, brushing your teeth, or watering your garden, there are ways you can save water and save money. Visit bcwsa.net for tips on conserving water. BCWSA, proven.
Looking for the ultimate night out? The stage is heating up at Mount Airy Casino Resort, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. On Saturday, March 14th, with the Idol Kings, as they bring the legendary rock anthems of REO Speedwagon to life. Then on April 11th, get ready for some 24K magic when Earth to Mars returns to Mount Airy's Event Center with all the Bruno Mars hits you love. Looking for a laugh? The one and only Vic DiBettito brings his high-energy comedy to the resort on May 16th. Hit the floor for non-stop gaming action. Find the hottest slots, the most popular table games, or place your bets in our state-of-the-art sportsbook. Ready to treat your taste buds to something truly extraordinary? At Mount Airy Casino Resort, world-class dining is always just steps away from the action. For those upscale evenings, indulge in prime steaks and handcrafted pasta at the award-winning Bistecca by El Molino, or grab a bold, flavorful bite any time of the day at Guy Fieri's Mount Pocono Kitchen. All guests must be 21 years of age. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We now return to All In with Paul Jolovitz. Now back to two guys who think a parlay is a place where you get ice cream.
Ice cream. We're going to get that later, probably for dinner at Bistecco by Il Molino here at Mount Airy Casino Resort, where we are all in. I'll be all in later tonight at the poker table, and we are all in right now, Chris Ermer, with a great guest.
Yes.
We have the CEO of the sponsor of this program, BCWSA, Bucks County Sewer and Water Authority. Been the CEO. How long have you been the CEO? I don't want to. A long time.
40 years.
Really?
Yeah.
You've been the CEO for 40 years.
I'm joking.
Oh.
No, it's 32.
Well, 32.
It's close.
It's close. Ben Jones is here. Welcome. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thanks.
To see you,
Very
buddy.
good to see you.
Always good to see you. Better
You
than the
kept
parking
the weight
lot.
off. Yeah. Well, I'm tired. I didn't sleep a wink last night. I have a bad shoulder. It just sucks. It is what it is, but the game must go on. And same with you. You fell down in Miami last month, huh?
I did, yeah.
But you
I don't bounce any longer.
Took a licking and keep on ticking?
Yeah, it took a month, but yeah.
All right, so how long did it take you, Ben? We'll talk about BCWSA,
Yeah.
anything you want to get to. Obviously, the Eagles didn't repeat. If you hadn't heard that, you probably shouldn't be listening to this show or doing much of anything else.
Certainly not talking, right?
How bummed were you at the way the Eagles season went? In every way, you want to talk about AJ, the season, Jalen, Nick, whatever, Kevin Patullo, Sean Mannion.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, we started off the season in pretty much the same fashion that we've started off every season for the last 2-3 years. And one of the biggest problems with it, I think, from my perspective anyway, is that you're watching them and they're barely getting by. They're coming back in the fourth quarter. Scores in the beginning of the game, but not much thereafter. As a result of that, you can't really expect that's going to continue.
Last
and
year
it
they
did.
blew everybody out.
What's that?
Last year they blew everybody out, not this year.
Not this year, yeah. But in the beginning, obviously not so much. But in any event, my point is still the same. This year you just saw it. And there was a lack of energy. There's a lack of cohesion. Those are the same things we kind of talked about, for some time now. I watch Hurts and I sit there and thinking to myself, he sits on the bench by himself. He puts the hood up. There's no communications. He's checking the computer, taking a look at his
Talking
his
about
tab.
Nick?
No, Hurts.
Oh, Jalen.
Yeah.
Wow. I like Jalen. Jalen's, in my opinion, I say this on WIP again all the time, and if you disagree, please let me know. not one of the single most disrespected athlete in his own town in the entire world.
It's in Philadelphia.
Why do we hate Jalen Hurts?
We don't hate
He's a
him.
great kid. He is the most hated player in the NFL in the survey. Why? He's a good kid. His personality is understated. Was he great on the field this year?
What survey are you talking about?
Yeah.
There was something 2 weeks ago. Did you see this, Lee? He's most hated player in the NFL.
Most hated
Yeah.
player in the NFL.
Most hated player in the
That's
NFL.
not because of Philadelphia sports fans.
It's nationally. I don't know
Right.
what it is.
They hate him because
we don't
he's
like
successful.
him here either.
Well, we don't like him here, but we don't. There's nobody in Philly who hates Jalen Hurts.
Oh, yes, there are. There are a lot of people that hate Jalen.
I totally
I talk to
disagree.
him- Steve,
The
Chris, I
people
talk to
who
him all the
hate-
time.
They hate him because he has had success against their team.
No, well, that's some of them, but there are a lot of people that hate Jalen Hurts for no reason.
Philadelphia's a tough sports town.
It
It
is,
doesn't matter.
but he's
So I
supposed to
mean,
be
they're always going to have people that are naysayers, and his personality is such that I was just talking about. He's sitting on the bench and doing that kind of thing. People expect him to get excited, just like the team expects fans to get excited. So I mean, when that doesn't happen, I don't think there's good interaction.
All right, Ben Jones, riddle me this. The Eagles' biggest problem last year offensively was A, the offensive line, B, the offensive coordinator, C, the head coach, D, the quarterback. If you had to choose one, where do you go?
Okay, not all of the above.
There's an element of all of the above. Of course there are. But what was the biggest one of all of them?
I think it was the offensive coordinator, to be truthful. Yeah, I really do.
Chris, what do you think?
I'm going to stay with the offensive line.
So am I. But the offensive coordinator, Petullo, was a big part of it. Obviously, he's gone. Mannion bringing his own people. And you're CEO. We talk about Jeff Stoutland leaving under whatever circumstances you think. Have you ever had a situation where you dealt a new deck, whatever you want to call it, either went to a new company, you haven't been in a new company obviously for 32 years, but you brought in your own people and there was some icon that had to leave because he was part of the collateral damage? Has that ever happened in your life, or friends or whatever?
Yeah, actually, when I first took my job where I am now, they had a senior management that was in place, and I did give them a chance. Some of them didn't last 2 months, others did, and then you integrate your own people. But
was there a legendary person that left?
Yeah, there was. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on which one you look at it, or which perspective, that was a board member. So, in any event, he ended up leaving.
Are you saying a board B-O-A-R-D member or a
Yes.
board B-O-R-E-D member?
The first.
I guess he was fired because he was a board member.
He wasn't fired.
He was supposed to be a board member.
But he left. So,
All
but
right.
he was a legend, and that was certainly a lot of the things, and it wasn't it wasn't us looking at things quite the same way.
All right, this is called a segue in radio. It's also called a segue in life. From Philadelphia Eagles to the company BCWSA, thank you for sponsoring us. I think I speak for all of us in saying that again.
Have you ever ridden on a Segway?
I have.
Yeah?
Once.
Yeah?
It wasn't good.
I've never been on a Segway.
It's cool. Segways are nice.
My only Segway experience is here with Paul Jolovitz.
No, Segways are big in Montana and Idaho. Lee Alexander was telling us about the Bozeman Segway. Never mind.
Segways are big on radio, I've heard.
How's BCWSA doing? Anything new?
Yeah, we're doing great. Obviously, this is a tough time of the year, with a lot of water main breaks and a lot of construction stuff that's, that comes up. But I guess one of the things that's really cool right now that we're doing is a new rebranding. The rebranding is coming out. We're BCWSA Utility Services now, basically because it describes who we are as opposed to just saying BCWSA. Unless you're from the Philadelphia region, you probably don't know. People often
Water
say,
and Sewer Authority? That says it all to me.
Yeah, but it's not. It's BCWSA. So ultimately, no, you don't get that out there all the time. So the end result is it's much easier to have that on there. It makes it easier. We don't pay by the letter on the actual emblems and so forth, and on the trucks and so on. It doesn't look like a billboard when it comes to that. Now, seriously, from our perspective, it describes what we do, which is utility services. It's not just the water. It's not just the sanitary. It's our construction services, our turnkey operations for local government entities to take over for them and or homeowners associations, things of that nature for developers. All of those things matter.
I have an honest question. It may be stupid. It won't be the first, second, or 900th stupid question I've ever asked. Water main breaks. You talk about it's been a rough winter, snow on everybody's pool, everybody's everything.
Oh, man, you hear about that situation in Philadelphia where it's like a parking garage, water main breaks up at the top of the garage, and the water just poured
Like
down.
Niagara Falls.
We had a waterfall.
Is that bad for you? Is that good? Do you make money on the repairs and the incendiary stuff that goes along with that domino effect, or is it good or bad?
No, it's bad for us. Obviously, it's all of our crews that are going out there are in overtime, and it's a tough job. I mean, when you have a water main break and you had the temperatures that we had, that makes it very difficult. But again, these breaks occur mostly during periods in which, you're actually dealing with heaving. So you have a deep frost, and all of a sudden, start to warm up, and it starts coming up, and as a result of that, you're ending up with a situation where you end up with a break because you got a movement.
So is it fair to
Philadelphia
say
had a couple of them this morning, as a matter of fact.
it's fair to say that you're looking for these 50 and 60 degree days or more to start up, daylight savings time, warm temperature, pool filling, no water main, well, not none, but you know what I mean.
Personally, yes, and also professionally, yes, with one exception, and that's going up to almost 60 this upcoming Saturday in a quick melt, and that becomes a problem on the sanitary side, and can overload our sanitary lines just because there's infiltration and inflow. People hook up some pumps and things of that nature, which they're not supposed to do, but it in fact can overpower the system.
When you talk about water main breaks, Chris, downtown, I mean, New York, many cities, so much snow, followed by a couple weeks of cold, didn't melt. They know where to put it. They had to shovel it in the rivers and stuff. What does that do to a city? And I mean, can it flood a river? I guess it can.
You're not supposed to put it in the river, but yeah.
Where are you going to put it?
Well,
Chris's house?
You put it in the
Gotta go
snow melter.
somewhere.
Yeah.
It's definition of matter. It exists. You have to put it somewhere.
You do. The river's not necessarily the best place to put it. The ocean's not the best place to put it. But the reality is, it's just like leaves. What do you do with the leaves, right? A lot of cities and so forth collect
Where do you
the
put them at
leaves.
Burger King? I mean, you have to put them
Well,
somewhere.
if you go down the Schuylkill, you look over your left-hand side below Conshohocken, that's where Philadelphia puts all their leaves. They also have their sludge.
That's where
they
I
do
live, so I
something
know.
really, really, really interesting with their sludge. They take and create pellets out of the things, and then that becomes fertilizer for people, and they leave it there for them to pick it up and then use that. And
Chris,
it's
have
not
you ever heard
recharged.
really, really, really interesting and sludge in the same sentence before? I never have.
First time.
You want to talk about the quality of it?
There we are.
Well, are you going to go?
Where?
To Philly and pick up
Get
your
the
free
fertilizer.
sludge.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm going to go to
That's
the
why it was
parking lot,
interesting.
get
He's got a
Niagara-
green thumb, right?
So
Yeah.
what happens with the sludge? Were you
whatever,
listening?
We'll find out what happens.
They
yeah.
turn it into little pellets.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you were listening.
Yeah, I sure was. I just doesn't.
He doesn't want to think about that
Yeah.
before his dinner tonight.
Not my favorite subject of life.
What is sludge?
It's the leftover biological
What is sludge?
waste
What kind of question
that's
is
created.
that?
It's not human.
What's the
by that
definition
point.
of sludge?
Who knows? I don't care.
This guy knows.
Do you really want to know how that process works? I know the listeners don't want to hear it, but the reality is what comes out is not human waste.
Hey, last time
It's
you
the
were with us,
biological process.
you mentioned something about like people with properties, apartment buildings that have like drainage issues, right? And then you guys can go in there and I don't know, give me the details on that. That's kind of what you were saying with like the turnkey stuff, where you can do construction and some different things to help with like water runoff.
Not so much on the water runoff, but installation of water and sanitary lines and things of that nature we do. Mostly for developers that are doing work in our service territory, which ultimately become ours. They end up dedicating the systems unless they want to own them and maintain them. And as a result of that, we come in, we give them a great price to do so. We take over all the responsibilities. They don't have to have it inspected by engineers, which saves them about 20% of their construction costs. The end result is we're able to do that work fairly quickly and easily for them. As far as turnkey operations, you know, a lot of entities, local governments and the like, don't want to actually give up their systems. They don't want to subject themselves to rate increases and things of that nature in a more regional-based system. So the end result is they'll hire us to go in there. We'll actually do all their work. They have no crews at that point. They have breaks or whatever. You know, those can be taken care of. And we actually do their billing for them, everything, and then we write them a check back.
The best thing about your company, in my opinion, Ben, I consider myself, I hate to be cocky, but maybe the greatest in the entire world at dealing with customer service. You want something done, have me call them. If I ever get through to a human being, you'll get what you want. I have a batting average that's higher than anybody else on this planet. But you can't always get a human being. Touch 9 if you're Bolivia and it's over 40 degrees.
So what are your techniques? What's the process? How do you
depends what
how
it
do you
is.
make this
you gotta
happen?
ad-lib.
I think he's looking for a job.
Well, you can do all kinds of different things. I mean, you can ask for people that aren't there. If you call a company where nobody ever wants to give you a person's name, hi, it's Bob Smith. There's a Bob Smith at every company. Which one? I don't know. Just they transfer you to one, and then Bob Smith, who's not told not to be, to be the Stonewall Jackson, ask him about Ben Jones, and you get Ben Jones. That's just one. But you have a 24-hour phone service where you talk to a live human being.
Yes.
If you have problems at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're not anxious to talk to a recording. That helps a hell of a lot, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, and today things are changing, obviously. People demand immediate response. And, generationally, our generation, we want to talk to a person. But
who doesn't?
Younger generations actually
Well, the
really
texting
want to be able to
generation?
just get, hey,
They're annoyed.
customers. They don't want to waste the time to do that. So basically, at this point, we just integrated into our phone system AI, which of course is
Allen Iverson.
like a 4-letter word, for a lot of folks. But the reality is nobody's losing their job. Nobody's doing anything else. What we're doing is trying to improve customer service. So for those that really want those immediate answers, the AI system's working, and
But you still have
learning.
the person on the line 24/7.
We do. And in addition to that, once they get through the AI and they decide, hey, listen, I want to talk to AI, I can put my information in there. They can answer all the questions. They can actually link into their billing within the next 2 months. They can get all their answers that they want for the younger generations that want to do that. But if they don't like that, they can simply push the button and get somebody live. That's the part that we don't normally do.
We have a member of the younger generation with us, Steve Lawler, who's only 19, I think. I don't know, what are you, Steve, 25?
I am about to be 28.
All right, 28. Sorry about that. You look younger. So you're the younger generation. You have a problem at 3 o'clock in the morning, not really anxious to wait when you know what those problems are. Are you into texting, or do you want to talk to somebody when you're in a situation like that?
I think it depends how serious it is. That's how I am in life. Like, if it's not a pressing issue, I strongly prefer people to text me.
Ben works in an industry where everything is a pressing issue, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I may need to call.
Not like the chrome on your faucet is chipped.
Yeah, that might be worthy of a phone call.
All right, let me ask you this, Steve. When someone calls you on the telephone, is that considered a minor annoyance to you? Because I think that's kind of like the new etiquette.
People forget their phone is also a phone.
What?
People forget that their phone is also a phone.
No, they just don't want to
it
talk
rings
to
like,
you.
What's that?
All right,
I would say if they call me unprompted, again, if you're just like out of the blue, they just call me up. There is this, again, for me, I think worry like something is wrong.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll answer and say, hey, what's up? And then you realize it's nothing important. And then I try to tell that person, like, text me next time. Let me, text me that you're going to call me.
Yeah, you just put me in panic
Text me
mode.
that you're going to call me.
Yeah,
That's
text
so
me that you
ridiculous.
want to.
I'll just call you.
Now you gotta, because I may be busy or if I can't talk.
Oh, screw texting.
You just gotta text me and then you give me the heads up and then we'll set it aside.
Now, are you a text or call person? I know the answer already.
For Jolly, I say, okay, Boomer.
All right, Boone, there we are.
I do both, to be honest with you. I text and I call, but the reality is at 3 o'clock in the morning, they're going to get our people that are on duty. They're going to actually speak to somebody directly at that point. There's not a problem. That's an emergency line. They're going to get through. If it's during the day and they have billing questions, or they think that they have leaks, or they have something that's happening that's a problem that really is just kind of a personal problem that they're dealing with on their bill, then they can go through the AI, link into their system. They're probably going to get their answer that way.
How about your problem at 3 o'clock in the morning is your general manager has just traded your tremendous young guard who's coming off an injury to the Oklahoma City Thunder for basically nothing, selling where he should be buying, losing depth, and the Sixers being...
Is Jared McCain so exceptional?
Yeah,
I mean,
he scored
Sixers
20 points
fans...
last night
Sounds like an AI question.
Pump the
21,
brakes.
20? No, Jared McCain's going to be a very good player.
It's an AI question.
I don't think too many people disagree with that. I mean, he was hurt. Hurt his knee, then he hurt his thumb or whatever.
I disagree with that. I think
You don't think
I think he's undersized. I think he's a poor
Undersized to be
defender.
Kobe Bryant,
And he can shoot the ball. That's good.
Well, that's
but
a pretty
only
nice
one,
skill in the
That's
game with
only
his
one
score.
element of the game.
Who do you
And
expect? I'm not telling you he's going to be Michael Jordan, but he's going to be a very good player.
I don't think he's going to be a very good player. I think he's going to be an okay NBA player.
Would you have traded him for what Daryl Morey traded him
No.
for? Okay. I don't disagree. I don't think he's some generational, talent.
But Daryl Morey probably got value for him.
No, Daryl Morey's an idiot.
Relative to what NBA people think his talent level is.
Second-round
and Sixers
picks are
people
meaningless.
think, oh my gosh.
Chris, you can
this
buy
guy,
a second-round
This guy would have
pick.
been so great.
If Golden State's second-round pick's coming up and you want one, you don't have to trade anything. You can buy it. He's so horrible. I mean, if he was sitting here in person, may God be my witness, I'd speak the exact same way because I'm being honest. He's the worst general manager, not because he's an idiot, but he's a smart guy.
Like when you go into that with that mindset, you see every move as idiocy. But
no, not every move. I think he made a nice draft pick in Edgecombe. I think he made a nice draft pick last year in McCain. I think he made a nice draft pick in Maxey. But his job is not to draft. His job is to win. And he extends Joel Embiid. He signs Paul George to the most ridiculous free agent contract in the history of this city. He just doesn't win. Name another general manager. Jerry Colangelo is one. Ben, Jerry Colangelo is one, guys. Name another general manager in the history of the NBA who's gone as many seasons and not won a title other than Jerry Colangelo. Name one. I guarantee you won't be able to because there are none. Daryl Morey. 18 years, squadoosh. Double down on James Harden every day.
I mean,
squadoosh.
there are many names that could be on that general manager list who never won a championship.
But they're not.
They may not be around as long as Daryl Morey because he does something right. His teams are competitive.
What does he do right?
His teams are competitive.
I don't want a competitive team. I want to win championships.
Other franchises see value in that.
There are bad general managers, Chris. Obviously, there's idiots out there, but he just everything's analytics. Everything's how many three-pointers do you hit when it's dark in Chicago on a day where it's 91 degrees. It's ludicrous.
The question is, does he put people in the stands? Are they making money?
Unfortunately for Philadelphia, with Josh Harris, Ben.
Just saying.
Fans go to games in Philadelphia no matter what.
I mean, I don't understand the Jared McCain move in the sense that you want to. I feel like this team has a potential to compete this year or in the very near future. And I don't understand why you are trading away somebody who is an NBA talent, maybe not as great a talent as some Sixers fans think, but he's got some upside there for some draft picks, which, as you said, may really be negligible
26, 27,
insignificant.
3 ridiculous second-round picks.
So I agree with that element of it. I just think that a lot of times people are overvaluing Jared McCain as an NBA asset and pointing to Daryl Morey like he didn't get what, I don't know, Jared McCain.
Why is he trading him? Why is he selling at all?
That's a good question.
I mean, I just don't like people. If someone in your organization, Ben, comes to you with an idea that makes sense on a macro level, but on a micro level, like, what are you doing that now for? You have that happen, right?
Sure.
So you look at them like, what the bleep are you talking about?
Yeah, but again, there's two types of planning, obviously. There's the visionary planning for the long term, and then there's the short term, macro versus micro, obviously, from the organizational standpoint. The question is where does that all fit into it? And I think a lot of times it's easy for us to judge based upon what we see on the surface at this point, the prima facie as it may be. But the reality is there may be a bigger plan in line. And you know what? It takes time to develop those plans.
I'll also point out the fact that I didn't see the Maxey ceiling as clearly as I should have seen it. And I was critical of Sixers fans for thinking that Maxey was more of a talent than he was. Yeah. So I was wrong there, and I may be wrong.
I think we were all wrong, Chris, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody saw Maxey as being a potential MVP candidate, first-team All-NBA. I mean, he's not a great defensive player. He never will be, but pretty damn good offensive player.
Well, I think, the Sixers fans, they were rallying around this guy and saying, we can't trade him. This is somebody who we really need to build around. And I thought, I don't know. I'm not seeing what they're seeing, but now it has become evident that this guy is certainly a superstar in the NBA. And that might be the same path that Jared McCain takes, and I'll look back at the show and say, what a goof I am.
20
once
points
again.
last night, 21.
We'll have Jolly on record, though.
Oh, he's such an... All right, Flyers we can talk about for a couple minutes, Ben. Obviously come back after the Olympic break. Losing to Washington, they just aren't good enough. I think everybody realizes that. Does Danny Briere try to do something at the deadline, or is use all the cap space he's going to have? Because they're not going to win a cup this year. I don't think they're going to get a superstar on the way to a cup. There are teams that just doesn't have as much talent as others. Michkov has to be better. So when they have anything go wrong, they start to go into a skid like they are now.
Right.
What's your opinion of the Flyers?
Well, I think at this point, the season speaks for itself, and ultimately, I think you just wait. I mean, I think it's time for us to step back, take a look at it, and kind of regroup.
Chris, as a fan, are you going crazy with the
It's
Flyers?
not working.
No. In a sense, yes, in that it's deja vu all over again with the same narrative playing out again with this team where you see a couple of bright spots. You hear about draft picks and Matvei Michkov and Vladar playing well this year, but you turn around and you say there's really nothing. There's nothing there. There doesn't seem like there's building blocks there. It doesn't look like there's a path forward.
You know the move that really hurt guys, right? The move that I'm not saying it cost a team any cups because it didn't, but the worst thing that happened to the Flyers in the last 5 years is easy. Cutter Gauthier, who is tremendous, and having a great year in Anaheim, not wanting to come here, and us getting Jamie Drysdale, who's okay. That really hurt. Cutter Gauthier could have been that breakout guy.
The other wild curveball that this franchise dealt with was Carter Hart. And this guy was supposed to be the #1 goaltender. He was supposed to be the future of the Flyers. And next thing you know, he's in all this hot water. He's not even in the NHL for a while.
2 years.
Yeah, so that was also in the bizarre category. But you still look at where they're going to, and we're the same place again. Like, I don't know. It is a mystery.
We got to run. We got to take a break, then bring on Tommy Green. We got to ask Ben Jones what we asked you earlier and Steve Lawler, and I gave my 2 cents. A.J. Brown, Game 1, 2020-26 season. A, Eagle. B, not an Eagle.
A, Eagle.
All right. I think it's like 52-48 that way. I think Howie's going to have to get what he wants.
It was extremely disappointing what happened. Just watching the passes being dropped, something he didn't do all season long.
He actually has the lowest drop rates in the NFL. Even with that game, his drop rate was very low.
Well, it is, but they were key. They were key drops. So, I mean, it's relative.
You do anything at the wrong time, it's going to look a lot worse. All right, we got to do it at the right time. We got to take a quick break. All in here from the Mount Airy Casino Resort. Thanks for being with us, Ben Jones.
Thank you, big guy.
Appreciate it. Love your sponsoring the show. We'll be back here soon. Yep. Tommy Green, who started Game 4 of the 1993 World Series, which means he started one more World Series game than I have, will be back with us when we continue after this.
The AP Sagar Magani reports it leaves the prospect on the table of another Middle East war.
Oman's top diplomat, who mediated the talks, said there was significant progress. But just before the talks in Geneva ended, Iranian state TV indicated Tehran was not prepared to meet President Trump's demands to constrain its program. The negotiations came during a week where the Trump administration said Iran should not rebuild parts of a nuclear program the U.S. attacked in June.
And here they are. You can see them always trying to rebuild elements of it.
The principle is very simple.
I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
The U.S. has massively built up military forces in the Middle East. Iran's top diplomat tells India Today TV that could lead to a devastating regional war.
There would be no victory for anybody.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
Former Secretary of State and former First Lady Hillary Clinton says she told the House Oversight Committee she had no idea about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal activities and does not recall ever encountering Epstein. Former President Bill Clinton testifies behind closed doors outside New York about Epstein tomorrow. Oversight Committee ranking member Robert Garcia says he wants President Trump to sit for a deposition.
I hope that Chairman Comer and the Republicans will join us in demanding that the person who actually appears more times in the files than the former president, who we want to speak with, is President Donald Trump. And so let's get President Trump in front of our committee.
A federal judge says the IRS broke the law by illegally sharing thousands of taxpayer addresses with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This is AP News.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive home and auto bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
A British lawmaker is facing charges overseas.
A court in Bangladesh's capital has ordered authorities to request that Interpol issue a red notice for the arrest of a British lawmaker on charges of corruption in a private real estate project. Tulip Siddiq faces charges of corruption in the country for using her connection with her aunt, former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, to influence the process of illegally awarding land to a private company. Siddiq has already been sentenced to 6 years in jail in Bangladesh in 3 other corruption cases. In January last year, Siddiq resigned as a British government minister in the cabinet of Prime Minister Keir Starmer because of her ties to the former Bangladesh Prime Minister. I'm Charles de la Tesma.
A woman on probation for stowing away on an international flight has been arrested again after sneaking onto a flight from Newark, New Jersey to Milan, Italy. Svetlana Dali was convicted in 2024 for flying to Paris without a passport or a ticket. I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
You're listening to 1490 WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.3 W297CL Levittown.
We now return to All In with Paul Jolovitz. Now back to 2 guys who think a parlay is a place where you get ice cream.
We're going to run that spot every time. we got to get a second spot, don't we, Chris?
We're working on it.
All right. We have a great guest with us. We're going to talk Phillies this hour. We could have had Tommy Blue. We could have had Tommy Red, but neither one of them was available.
Yeah.
So we had to settle for Tommy Green, former Philly.
With the E.
With the E. Back from 9 vacations with fantasy camp and Phillies cruises.
Yeah, I wasn't on the Philly cruise this year or Philly destination, whatever it was.
You got
cruise
a
this year.
suntan. How'd you do that?
I was gone. I was in Clearwater. I was in Florida for 2 weeks and then Belize for a week.
Wow.
So that's 3 weeks, so to speak, in warmer weather.
Slightly warmer weather.
Yeah.
Phillies started spring training last week. Got the World Baseball Classic. A lot of stuff to talk about. But first, you played, obviously, and you played in an era where people didn't make $300 trillion a year like they do now, where people could accept criticism probably a little bit more. Stars in your era.
All right, hold on.
That's everybody.
Because during your era, people were saying...
My era?
No, during Tommy's era, the 90s, people were saying, wow, now people are making millions of dollars.
Yes.
Right? Like every era is the same, Jolly.
No, it's not. Because
Pretty
now
much.
people are making crazy money.
This is... I call this monopoly money. It's like crazy.
Yeah, it is. Do you have any problem with Dombrowski?
we were starting to make good money, at times.
Yeah.
But if you're Harper, do you react the way he did to Dombrowski? Was Dombrowski wrong? Was Bryce wrong? Were they both wrong? What do you have to
I
say?
think both of them hold some blame to it, if you ask me.
Okay.
I mean, just
did
being an outsider looking in. I'm a perfect guy. I'm an example. You have to walk by a mirror, no matter if you're a GM or a player. You got to be able to walk by a mirror and see yourself. Not be a vampire. Take some responsibility for what happened.
Yeah, I'd like to see Harper talk about the elite status of Dombrowski.
Well, I mean, and Dombrowski didn't.
He's not in the league.
What I think happened.
But you don't
what
do
I think
that.
happened.
You don't do that.
We were talking. I mean,
That just starts a spitting contest.
well,
Right.
listen.
Right. That's what he did.
He
didn't
did
answer
start.
the question.
No, there's nothing because he has to deal with the reporters, right? And reporters are going to ask questions sometimes, and he can't refuse not to talk. About some of the players, but you got to be careful the way you put things sometimes. Terminology is huge.
But he wasn't screaming.
Okay, no, this is what happened. This is what happened, and we talked about it. He just said he didn't have an elite year. So what? Hey, and Harper's got to be, he's got to be a man about things. Did he think he had an elite year? Do I think he had an elite year? No. He had a good year.
Who'd you rather have right now?
But still, let's finish the conversation. Let's go. Let's talk about this and get
part
it
of what
out.
Dombrowski said.
But wasn't the conversation also about his whether or not he is an elite player?
Okay, we haven't got to that part of the question, that equation yet. We got he didn't have an elite year. Hey, there's a lot of factors that go into that. people are not reading into.
He was hurt.
He was hurt. He dealt through a lot of things. He still – do I like the year he had? I love the year
27
he had for
and
what he
75.
went through. There's no question about that. I love it. Would it have been better if he was fully healthy like he could have? Yes, it would have been. He'd gave you 35 or whatever more home runs probably and been right there in the equation.
I mean, at times last season, I felt like he was at an elite level.
Yeah.
But the fear factor wasn't there that was there before to me.
Well, I mean, you got to play and get in those grooves. But the thing that happened when you start, and where I do agree with what Harper had a beef with is keeping things in house.
But he didn't keep the contract extension.
Well,
he talked about that. Boris talked about that. Does it work
that's
one
why,
way but not
that's
the other
why
way?
that's why I said both of them are to blame at things. But both of them got to walk by a mirror and be able to see each other in the mirror.
The
You know,
important
so
thing, Tommy,
there's things that happen. We can't be childish about things, but you got to. Terminology is huge. You got to take responsibility for the thing and move forward. And that's what you heard the other day, I think, in spring training with them talking and Harper
Is it
coming
over
out.
with?
I think it is. Yeah.
I hope it is because the Phillies.
Why
don't need-
wouldn't it be over with?
Because either one could keep going and mention it one day. That's not an elite day you had.
Well, you know why?
Blah, blah,
you
blah,
know
blah,
who's
blah.
why? You know why? Probably it's going to not end because it's this in the media going
Well, that's fair.
digging and throwing darts
fair.
and throwing a grenade
Yeah.
over there in the corner to try to keep it alive.
It's a tough town. Yeah.
Okay, it's over with. It's been hoopla over the winter. Enough. Let's play ball. Let's
Right.
play ball.
And we're playing ball, and the Winter Classic's coming up. If you were a pitcher in today's game, and Mark DeRosa, who's U.S. manager, who went to Penn, by the way, called you and said, we'd like you to come beginning of spring training. You're obviously not stretched out.
Yeah.
They got Scooble this year. They got Skeens. They got a lot of guys. Would you have gone?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, I think to be able to pitch for your country, and it's hard to say. I would think to have the opportunity is it's a huge thing to represent your country.
Or that U.S.
But
championship.
it also comes. It depends on what you went through the year before, and how many innings you logged, and where you were at physically ending the year. There's a lot of factors that go into it. And see, you just can't just show up at spring training and I'm going off to the World Classic. That's not what happened. You got to prepare.
Sure.
You got to start it sooner.
Harper was hitting
And,
early.
I
because
mean,
of that. Yeah.
different for hitters a little bit more than it is for pitchers. You know, that's my issue with the whole thing is the pitching side of it, is making sure those guys are where they need to be at to give you 2 or 3 innings in the Classic.
And the manager, Scooble with A.J. Hinch in Detroit, they're going to be talking to Mark DeRosa. I don't want my guy going further than such and such, how he's going to be used. The manager really can't manage based on himself, but with the kind of manage with
He's got restrictions. He's
Yeah.
going to have restrictions with these
Big time.
guys. Yeah, I mean, you're dealing with – I mean, that's the only thing. You got each club has got – I mean, that's your best guys. You basically – I mean, just representing the United States out there. Each club that's represented – I mean, it becomes a factor when you got your pitchers out there that you're counting on like that to go. Now, I haven't looked at the roster right now. I saw it briefly, but I didn't really study. I know we got Harper and Schwarber. Who else is involved in it? Anybody else?
Trey Turner.
Is Turner on it?
Aaron Nola's pitching for Italy.
Well, I mean,
14th
the work might help him ramp up and get going because I think he's got something to prove, and he's been working on. He's been probably
his contract is ridiculous.
Well, he's been working on that because he's that type of guy. I've kind of met and I've met him a few times and kind of got to know the person that he is a little bit, and I think he's that type of dude. He's going to come in. He's going to take it with I'm getting ready for this. It's going to be a positive thing for me because I'm going to carry it into my season with the Phillies.
All right, let's take the gloves off for a second for both you guys. For Steve also, if you want to comment. You played with a bunch of guys, Tommy, a bunch of people from a bunch of different backgrounds for a bunch of years. I'm sure you didn't love everybody you played with. Nick Castellanos is going to the Padres. They couldn't trade him. In my opinion, he's a jackass. He was negative in the clubhouse. He was nothing special on the field. Yeah, a couple big hits in the playoffs, but everybody gets those. Glad he's gone. Never liked him before he came to the Phillies. See you. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Was there Nick Castellanos when you played?
Not doing what he did. No, I mean I can't. Were there situations that were handled and taken care of in-house and stuff like that? Yeah. It's something people had to get straightened up a little bit, and it happens to a lot of guys, when things are, because it's not a perfect world there all the time. You're dealing with.
But the beer in the dugout?
No, that's not. That's what I'm saying. That situation right there, that wasn't going to happen. That would, and personally, I think it should have been more severe right off the bat, not given a day. It should have been a week at least, if not more, suspension to prove a fact that that's not going to happen. But at that right there, depending on what happened after that, he'd been probably gone after that. In my day, they would have released him because, first of all, he wouldn't have been making $20 million.
Of course. Chris, did it bother you? He had his 230 whatever game streak ended.
No, that didn't bother. Hey.
No, I'm asking. So Chris, Nick Castellanos used to talk about, am I in the lineup every day? Like anybody gave a frick of it. Nick Castellanos, watch the team play. If you're in the lineup, great. If you're not, sit there and cheer and get your bat ready. Every day was about Nick Castellanos. Every day.
Don't you want a player who wants to be in there every day?
Wants to, but doesn't talk about it and whine about it and complain about it. No.
I want a player.
I want a guy that wants to be.
Right. That's who he was.
He talks to me every day. I'm not in the lineup. So what? So you're not Cal Ripken Jr. You're not going to play 2,632 straight games.
I mean, he didn't talk to the media every day because he wasn't in the lineup, because he almost always was in the lineup. So you're talking about maybe 2 or 3 times because the guy wanted to be in the lineup.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the desire.
He wanted to be
out
there.
He wanted to be there. He wanted to be there. And at the time, that's what we had.
But he talked against his manager, against his general
that's
manager.
the thing. I think there was a.
Well, isn't that what we're talking about with Harper?
Phil said you can't do that.
It flows both looking in the mirror.
I think there was a precedent that needed to be set at that time, no matter who the player was. That needs to be set. That can't happen, and that starts at the top. That don't start with, and it happens a lot with the clubhouse, with the guys in the clubhouse. Who's the guys who step up? I think Schwarber and them have some responsibility in that too. Because they're the veteran leadership in that. That's got to happen. And I'm pretty sure that kind of stuff happened that we're not privy to.
Well, I've never had any interactions with Nick Castellanos, but I will never look at him the same for how he dealt with the media in Philadelphia. And as a media person, somebody who sometimes will try to interview athletes after games, talk to people, I felt like his disrespect for the media was intense.
And he did some nice things too, but in general, I agree.
And I hated that. I mean, for that, I felt like that was unforgivable. And the attitude he had there, I just didn't understand. I didn't know why he was had this contentious thing about him, and
because he thinks he's God's gift to right field.
Well, and obviously he wasn't, and that's why he found his way out.
In your era, in 1991, Jimmy Johnson, coached the Cowboys, said, "I treat all my players equal." Grammatically incorrect. He should have said equally. We'll let him pass on that.
Yeah.
2 years later, some running back, some backup, falls asleep in a team meeting, and he's cut that day. And somebody asked Jimmy Johnson, his press opportunity the next day, if that was Emmitt Smith, would you have cut him? He said, hell no. He said, I thought you treated all your players equal. He said, some are more equal than others. Is that the case in baseball, too? If Willie Mays and Willie Monroe do the same thing, is Willie Mays allowed to do a bunch of things that Willie Monroe's not? And can you parallel that with the Harper and Castellanos situation?
Well, I don't think when you got a guy to the level like Harper, and some things are starting to happen like that, if he stepping out of line, I think that's when it's got to be a come to Jesus with the upper management. It's got to step in and it's the thing to let this know we're not going any further than this. We're not going to allow this to happen. We just want you to get. I mean, you just can't let it go. You got to bring it to the attention of him and maybe some other people in the clubhouse. That way, everybody's on board with this. Because we've had stuff like that happen to the teams I've owned a little bit, people showing their butt and, a little bit. But it never got to the higher echelon because we had players that took care of that, Who
are you? I know Dutch, obviously, but if somebody did something, somebody screwed up, and Dutch was sick and tired of it, or if he had too much on his plate, who was number 2 in the pecking order?
Well, I mean, it didn't go like that. We had a bunch of guys that played the game the right way. And you have guys that are human beings that make mistakes and do things and the frailties, but also you get some guys sometimes that walk by the mirror and they don't see themselves a little bit, and it gets out of hand a little bit. That's when the leadership of the clubhouse steps in. You got Dutch, you got the veteran leadership with Kruk, and the unsung hero of my tenure and stuff like, you got DJ. DJ was a good one too. He'd let you know. The unsung hero that you probably heard me say this before, Chris, was Mariano Duncan. That dude was a winner, and there was a reason why.
Was it
It's
for
the way
the
he
Latino
played the
players
game.
or for everybody?
That was for everybody. He didn't care who you were.
Okay.
And the way
Danny
he expected
Jackson,
you to care and play the game as he played the game, which was hard. And you go out there and every day, and that's why people endured to our team, because that's the way that team was.
That's fair, Chris, isn't it? That's why the '93 team, I think, was so popular.
Sure. Well, I mean, also, to go back to a point we made, or I tried to make earlier. Who would have thought the '93 team would have the success that you guys had that year? People looking at this Phillies team and saying, could this be a World Series team? I say, how about that '93 team? You look back, it was a bunch of platoon players, a bunch of guys who you wouldn't have ever thought they could have added up to a National League champion.
That's because they didn't have the egos. We had platoon players. We had guys that wanted to play the game, no matter what their role was. They were willing to accept it and go out there and play. And go out there and play and win and do the right thing. We had good ball players that knew how to play the game.
You know what the key to this season is, in my opinion? The entire year.
And they stayed healthy.
And Lee agrees with me. We talked, but I love this guy. And we talk about Zach coming back, and then Luzardo needing a big year, and Painter coming up.
They just need to keep doing what they're doing. Nobody needs to they just be healthy. But the rest of them take care of themselves.
Top 10 pitcher in baseball, if not higher. Christopher Sanchez, he has a good year. They're going to be good no matter what. He's going to throw innings. He's going to eat innings. He's going to throw strikes. He's going to save the bullpen. Do we give him enough attention, guys? Because he is freaking great.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's earned what he's got. He's getting attention. Yeah.
I don't know. I love baseball in the sense that Christopher Sanchez may not have a great year this year.
No one's guaranteed.
Right, but I mean, I think in other
That's
sports.
what's so great about the game.
That is the great part about baseball is that.
Not anything.
I mean, you guys were talking about how stacked this bullpen looks right now. And from season to season, if anything varies in the Major League Baseball world, it's what bullpen pitchers are from year to year. It can vary.
Big time.
Like night and day difference.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. You hear me. How many times over the years, Chris, you've heard, I mean, both of you, y'all ask me all the time. I said, the number one factor is health. If they can go take the post and they're not really having any significant problems, because you're not going to be perfect every day. You're not going to feel great every day, but they're not having really any injury issues. Dude, they got the talent to do things with. Now there's some proven things that's got to happen. Guys got to prove themselves now, because we got some holes now. But there's one thing that's going to happen. Like if Crawford has this, and they do start him and bring him, and he's going to start the season with us. He's going to add a dynamic that we haven't had in a while.
Sure,
if he does what he's been doing, you're going to have a guy that makes contact, not strike out a lot, and probably in a situation that wherever they bat him at,
they're going to lead him off, I think,
and it's going to do some positive things, with runners on base, because his legs can do a lot of things, and that's going to be one thing.
What do you
then the stuff with the arms. Hey, that's every year. Is your pitching staff going to stay healthy?
Painter's such a huge key.
Well, he is. I mean, but the tools are there. If he stays on track, and like what they say, Chris, you've probably been on top of it a lot more than I have. Is following is how his command, and what they're talking about his command. That's the thing.
All right,
his
stop
command.
for a second. You had surgery. Tommy John, not exactly. It was different than.
Mine's shoulder. Mine was totally opposite.
But you had shoulder surgery. Tommy John's elbow, obviously.
Yeah.
Painter's 2 years ago had no problem with velocity last year, but he couldn't locate at all.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously different injuries, different pitchers, different people, different everything. What's the general process in coming back? Is location harder to find while you're trying to jump it up and get it up there on the gun? What's that like?
You don't ever throw for the gun. That's the thing. Okay. Y'all want to see the gun. You never really hear me talking about the gun.
But if Andrew
You
Peters
can
went 83 miles
what you hear
an
me
hour-
talking about that gun, you can shove that gun. Do you get people out or don't you? You know, can you command what you do? If you command what you do with the stuff you got, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna compete at a high level. Now you take it with the stuff that Painter's got and have command of it. That goes from here to there.
Yeah.
That's the issue. That's what we got to find out. And that's part of the process of what you hear with Tommy John, by what I know, and talking to people that's been through it, and talking to people who do it, you know, the surgeons and stuff like the doctors that, and the guys, people who rehab. It's the last thing that comes is the command.
Well, you had the shoulder problems. Obviously,
I
Tommy
never
John's
got mine
elbow.
back, so.
Zach Wheeler, the thoracic problem is generally a shoulder problem.
Yeah.
We do with the ribs too. Obviously, it's an untapped situation. Nobody has
Yeah.
any idea. What does Tommy Green's crystal ball see for Zach Wheeler this year?
Well, I think he's obviously, barring any vascular, type issues as far as blood flow or anything like that. I mean, he didn't have any muscular, tears or breakdown or jointal type things. If anything, they gave him more room to do stuff with. Taking that first rib out, it gives him more
kept
bone
in the
out.
closet, guys, by the way.
And it gives you more room to do. Now he's got. I mean, the big thing now is about getting his strength back. And doing things as part of the rehab process. And the biggest thing now, I think he's going to be fine. But the process now is the gray matter between your ears. That's another hurdle you got to get over to be able to let it go. Are you going to feel? I mean, that's part of the process. He's got to go through. They got to make sure this dude's ready when he comes back, and he's got to have it come to Jesus with himself and be honest with the guys. I think he will be. He don't want to. He's got teammates that he cares about. Yeah.
All right, Chris. A lot of players we're talking about. Another one. I don't think there's any question among anybody here at Mount Airy, anybody down at the ballpark, anybody anywhere. I've seen him play. I know a lot of Philly fans haven't. I don't know if you have, Chris, but Adolis Garcia, he can hit the ball 450 feet. There's no question about that. Will it be offer enough? Will his power be offer enough? Will he hit for a high enough average, driving enough runs? He's obviously very good defensively. I think the year he has, both in where he hits in the order and how he hits, is going to be a tall tale of where the Phillies wind up. Do you?
Yeah, I think it'll be his play is going to be a major factor. I mean, you need to have production in the outfield, and that has not been
especially right field.
I don't know. They haven't had enough of late out there. But I think Tommy makes a really good point when it just comes to overall health. I mean, it's kind of a pedestrian way to look at it. But when you have 162 games, you have a roster that has elite talent in some areas. If everybody can stay healthy, that's where you get into, I think a wild card spot, like a record that is going to get you into postseason play.
Do you think the Mets are a lot better? Do you think the playoffs are a problem now? Phillies were pretty much a given last year. I don't think they're a given for the playoffs this year at all. Do you?
I don't think you could be given nothing. Paper's one thing at the beginning of the season. Talent level, yeah. I mean, the Dodgers, obviously, they've spent a lot of money to put the guys on the you can try to buy it all you want. The Yankees tried to done it for years, but did they do it? No.
Dodgers
you still
did.
got to go out and play the game.
Yep.
And the Dodgers had the pedestrian. I mean, for them, things didn't start coming around to them to the end of the year because of why they got healthy, and it comes down to health. You can have all the tools in the world.
Last now, Kershaw.
I mean, it becomes pitching and defense up the middle is what you got to have. And if you got to start in pitching and they get hard at the right time, you can do some damage and hurt people. And that's exactly what they did.
All right, both of you guys answer this question. Steve Lawler, I want to hear you answer this too. You can have one of these two guys this year only. A, Freddie Freeman, B, Bryce Harper. Steve, who do you want?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I feel like I have to go Freddie Freeman just for recency bias. I think he's been a more productive player, but if you're giving me the Phillies love's going to come out, I think I might need to take Bryce just because I feel like now he's got something to prove this year and he's willing to ball out.
I'm taking Freddie for what he does in the postseason primarily. People with things to prove have things to prove for a reason because they haven't done it yet. they got to do it before I assume they're going to do it. Tommy, Chris?
Well, I mean, you can't go wrong. You start trying to pick one guy. I love both guys. They bring different things to the table. I think that that this year, if you had to make me pick one this year, it would probably be Harper, because he does have something in there that's burning at him, a little bit. And I mean, everybody, I think, sort of needs that edge a little bit. And I think and he really wants it. And the key things, like I said, as long as he doesn't get banged up, he's proved that he, over the course of his career, he can have some times where he carries you. We just got to get it in that postseason where he does it like that. He's had some big moments in the postseason. We just got to hopefully carries forward to this year.
To me, it's that production element that would make me lean towards Harper. That he's got a little bit more of a power bat and run driving ability. Freddie Freeman, I think, like the clutch elements in the postseason are unmatched.
He's always been a hitter.
More home runs than Bryce does, I believe.
Freddie's been close. I mean, to me, I just looking back, I don't know his numbers and stuff, but I always thought Freddie he's like a 300 hitter perennial.
Also not
you know what I mean? So he uses the whole field all the time. You don't see him rarely pull off on stuff. He's a quality. I mean, it's not that Harper's not. Harper's based more of a power type guy. It's just two sort of different type guys a little bit. So.
Sure, they're different, but comparing's fun. And here's another comparison, and maybe it's fair, maybe it's not. Is it a fair comparison, talking about something to prove, got to get over the hump, whatever cliche you want to use, Joel Embiid and Bryce Harper? Is that fair?
Well, I mean,
no.
Why? No, he's talking about health. Jesus, he's got to stay on the court.
Bryce is breaking down a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. I mean you beating your body up like that. That's the thing. That's why you hear me. I put the big emphasis on health. It's not that your big guys that you need in the lineup. Don't get like a bad injury where it keeps them out a month. You gonna get nicked up and stuff like that where you might miss 2 or 3 games. But you don't want it to affect where you lose some good mojo that you got going, some good, timing, the aspect of thing, a good streak that you're in because you're banged up. You know what I mean?
I just think it's I just think it's apples and oranges. Okay. I mean, when you're talking about basketball, you have 5 guys, and like the superstar player makes such a huge difference.
Yeah.
There's so many variables when it comes to baseball that Bryce Harper has no control of whatsoever. I mean, when you're one of the 5 guys on the floor, you have a real ability to control the action, to dominate the game every minute that you're out there, defensively and offensively. So I think the burden is on Joel in that regard. Harper, I mean, you got so many other elements there that you
got people that surrounded him. That if they get hot at the same time, if they're hot around him, it makes him susceptible to getting more pitches. Things. It goes like that.
Right.
But the bottom line. What make it, Chris? You hit on it. I mean, talking about, the 5 guys. You said, but what makes it go around is the pitching, or the pitching. That's where it starts at. You can't play unless the pitcher throws it, man.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's where it starts. If they're keeping us in the thing, it makes the hitter's job. And I'm gonna say easier, but they're more susceptible to have success.
What's the most
important
thing in baseball? Pitching. What's the second most? Pitching.
Yeah.
What's the third most? Relief pitching. We're going to come back.
Defense up the middle.
Defense up the middle. Hitting a little bit. Hitting's been a problem in the playoffs. We're going to come back with Tommy Green, talk some more Phillies, talk some more sports. Got a couple cross-training questions for TG. We are at the Mount Airy Resort in the Pocono. It's a great place. This is all in. We're enjoying ourselves. Come on up here. You'll enjoy yourself too. And we will be right back, as long as I speak English, right after this.
Rob's Automotive and Collision Center in Lower Bucks County is a full-service repair center with competitive prices, top-of-the-line products, and the finest auto body and mechanical repair technicians anywhere. Rob's makes repairing your car easy. Same-day service guaranteed. Whether it's an oil change, state inspection, or a mechanical issue, Rob's will have you in and out and on your way. 2700 Veterans Highway in Bristol, 215-826-9200 for 24-hour emergency towing. Call 215-826-0250.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. Every champion needs a good game plan. BCWSA and I want to make sure you have a game plan when it comes to conserving our most precious resource, water. Whether you're washing dishes, brushing your teeth, or watering your garden, there are ways you can save water and save money. Visit bcwsa.net for tips on conserving water. BCWSA, proven.
Looking for the ultimate night out? The stage is heating up at Mount Airy Casino Resort, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. On Saturday, March 14th, with the Idol Kings, as they bring the legendary rock anthems of REO Speedwagon to life. Then on April 11th, get ready for some 24K magic when Earth to Mars returns to Mount Airy's Event Center with all the Bruno Mars hits you love. Looking for a laugh? The one and only Vic DiBettito brings his high-energy comedy to the resort on May 16th. Hit the floor for non-stop gaming action. Find the hottest slots, the most popular table games, or place your bets in our state-of-the-art sportsbook. Ready to treat your taste buds to something truly extraordinary? At Mount Airy Casino Resort, world-class dining is always just steps away from the action. For those upscale evenings, indulge in prime steaks and handcrafted pasta at the award-winning Bistecca by El Molino, or grab a bold, flavorful bite any time of the day at Guy Fieri's Mount Pocono Kitchen. All guests must be 21 years of age. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Join Stephen Lawler the third Saturday of this month for Slobber Knocker Showdown. Listen as Stephen updates you on the world of wrestling from last week and takes your call at 215-949-3232. Slobber Knocker Showdown with Stephen Lawler the third Saturday of the month from 1 to 2 p.m. right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, as well as heard around the world at WBCB1490.com.
All right, listen up, team! Big game tonight! Launch of the Fideri News Network! Now every one of you's got a role to play, and I expect nothing short of perfection!
Sir, yes, sir!
Brawn and liberty! You fight for civic life like it's sudden death overtime! Investigations, truth-telling, defending the Republic! You've got heart! Politics PA, you're the seasoned vet! Since 2001, the go-to for political news! And now with that podcast, rock solid! That's why you're in the starting lineup! WBCB, you're my favorite! Bucks County's backbone! High school sports, radio, podcast, video! Now Philly Pro coverage with On Pattison! You're the engine of this team! Access Networks, you wild animal! Breaking news in minutes! Suburbs to the shore! No huddle! No delay! My pass rusher! Alone you're strong! Together you're a force! Sports, culture, politics, breaking news! You're restoring the public square. You're earning trust. That's why this team's called Fideri. To trust, to be faithful. This isn't just news. It's a covenant with the community. And tonight, we play for all of them! Visit www.fiderinews.com.
Join us weekday mornings at 11 for Album Sides. Gonna spin some of the best albums of all time. It's Album Sides with yours truly, the philosopher Chris Ermer. Weekday mornings at 11 right here on 107.3 FM and 1490 WBCB. You can also listen live at WBCB1490.com.
Steve Lawler here with the afternoon show. Don't forget to tune in weekdays 2 to 4 p.m. for Music Motif and all the best sports talk that you can find on your dial at 107.3 WBCB.
We now return to All In with Paul Jolovitz. Now back to two guys who think a parlay is a place where you get ice cream.
Ah! How many more times you're going to hear the same comeback?
You're the
That's
ice
all
cream
right.
man. What
Yeah.
am I going to tell you?
I guess I am the ice
You're
cream
the
man.
guy.
Hey, I looked up some Freddie Freeman, Bryce Harper stats.
Yep.
And you were correct that Freddie Freeman does have more home runs than Bryce Harper. Freddie Freeman's got 367. Bryce Harper's got 363.
Well,
so he's only 4 behind. But
and he's had 400 less at bats, so he's probably a better home run hitter. But people don't realize.
well, he's had 400 less games.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
he'll be like
It's really about
1,200
at-bats.
less at
That's
bats.
like
No, look at the at bats.
it's like
no, these are
2.5
games.
years.
Like he played, Freddie Freeman has played 2179 games.
Well, how
Bryce
many
Harper
at-bats? Doesn't have any
1789.
at-bats in
Yeah.
there?
No,
Oh.
That's like
Why
2.5 years worth of games. you
That's
know?
like- that-
That's like 70 some home runs.
Yeah,
yeah,
to see
at
the
least.
at-bats. Bryce Harper's a better home run hitter, but Freddie Freeman hits A lot of home runs.
For average, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Freddie when you look at the stats, he's got Freddie Freeman, better WAR, better
WAR is the most
hits,
meaningless
better
stat in
home
baseball.
run,
I don't
better
wanna
RBI, better
WAR is a
batting.
complete
Well, I'm
garbage
just
stat.
going through the stats. Okay,
Yeah.
Jolly. Jeez Louise. Better OPS. Do you like that stat?
Yeah.
Okay,
because all
great.
minutes
I'm
plus
glad
slugging.
you appreciate that one. Freddie Freeman basically has him in basically every stat category, but he does have 400 additional games to Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
When Harper's done, he probably will have more home runs
We'll
than
see.
Freddie Freeman.
Let's hope he gets some this year, a bunch this year. And let's hope A.J. Brown is an Eagle this year if you like A.J. Brown. But there's another question, Tommy, that we have to get to, the 12,419 and 7-pound and 7-ounce elephant in the room.
4-point field goals.
4-point field goals, not that one. 2027 baseball season, opening day, let's say March 28th. Does that game get played by everybody, or are we in a lockout?
Oh, in 27. I think right now, if I had to say right now, we're in a lockout.
Tommy, why don't explain this to me? I don't understand this. I never have. I never will. I come from Washington, D.C., where there's a lot of negotiating going on for obvious reasons. Every labor negotiation on the planet Earth between anybody and anybody obviously gets settled. Baseball is going to continue. Nobody doesn't think
At
it's
some
not.
point, yeah.
So whatever the final offer that you're going to make after a 4-month lockout is, whatever the offer that you're going to make before the lockout starts, why don't you make it now? Why does everybody have to wait till the last minute, then make some stupid offer, have to lock out, have the fans get screwed, and then 4 months later do something that you could have done 4 months ago?
Agreed. Yeah.
Why, Chris? What is
Agreed.
it?
I don't know.
I agree with that. I mean, it comes to the point where somebody's trying to draw a line in the sand, and they got to figure out how this thing's going to work. You know.
I'll take it back to the beginning of our discussion with Tommy. You were talking about how, what do you think about the money that guys make today and how you compare it to your era?
I think it's stupid.
And
but I mean,
Harper made, I thought, an intelligent comment with that.
I think it's stupid how much they make, but. Are you saying okay? If they come to me, I'll give you 5 years of $167 million. I'm taking it.
I thought Harper.
I'm taking it. I'm not saying no. Oh, I'm not worth that much. Here, I'll take $20 million over the 5 years.
We talk about Bryce, though.
Right, but in that scenario, if the
and I'll take the $20 million too.
I'll take $2 million. Bryce talked about. He was asking about the questions, then he got into this, and I thought he sounded very reflectful, very, very good actually, talking about paying it forward for the Aiden Millers, for Justin Crawford.
Very good. I remember saying that.
The thing that impressed me about Bryce Harper was he and Rob Manfred apparently almost came to blows last year. Mm-hmm. We heard that story a million times over. He actually complimented Rob Manfred yesterday, saying he's going to try to do the best for the owners, but he's a smart man. I don't know if that's a crack in the armor. It's one guy, one time, making one comment. But do we really have any hope?
That's a guy that wants baseball to continue.
Everybody wants baseball to continue.
To continue and not stop for the sake of the game and the sake for the fans. I think overall, Bryce is trying to endear. I mean, he's endeared himself to the fans of Philadelphia.
There's got to be a cap, though, Tommy. There's no way.
I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, it's just, but being a part of baseball in the union, when I played, you're fighting for the rights. I come through here just like the guys fought for my rights. To have what I had to be able to accomplish what we did, and then what we had to go through for the people behind us to accomplish, and this where it's got to the strike and the stoppage that we've had and a couple of lockouts that we had to go through, for the guys to have the rights.
Doesn't somebody out there say, well, at some point somebody has to pay for all of this?
Yeah.
And so the fans ultimately will carry the burden for whatever this thing is going to work out as.
Always will.
So
well, I mean, to me, do I think it's stupid?
Baseball's
I think the
growing.
salaries are, yeah. I mean, and I think some of the guys would be first thing to tell you. It really is crazy. Today's guys, it really is.
I also don't understand a league where you have the Pittsburghs out there that. I mean, is that a franchise that even makes money? Is it revenue sharing that holds the Pittsburgh Pirates?
I will tell you this.
I think there's a lot of that does happen. Yeah.
Let me tell you this. There's never, and I mean never, not one, been a franchise sold in any of the 4 American sports that was sold for less than it was bought for. So whether they make money cash flow year to year and you can play any tricks with accounting you want, they obviously do. Baseball is at a very high point right now. The World Baseball Classic is very popular. And what do they want to do to it?
It's gone global. I mean, it's more global, globally recognized now than
But
it used
both
to be.
sides are so dug in. I mean, obviously there has to be a floor if there's a ceiling, but in my way of thinking, guys, there has to be, whether you call it a cap, whether you want to call it a luxury tax revenue sharing floor, there has to be a salary certainty in baseball. It cannot be the wild, wild west like it is now where Juan Soto. It's nice for capitalism. I get it, but it's also going to ruin baseball.
Hi, the other thing that seems a little unlike most workplaces is that the money is guaranteed.
Yep.
And in most workplaces, your money is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
And in other leagues,
Other
it seems
sports.
like it's more of you have to prove it in order to
The
live up to your
NFL.
contract, or else you're going to get cut.
The NFL is all about signing bonus. Doesn't matter how much you make a year. It's about how much you get now.
Yeah,
Everything. It's about
and there's a
guaranteed
lot
money.
of things that it could come to the forefront with what you're talking about. I mean, do I? If I played today, yeah. Do I want my money guaranteed? Yeah.
Who doesn't?
But I mean, yeah, I want it. Yeah, and that's some of the things that as a union, they over the years they argued and fought for.
They won.
And because how many years before all this stuff happened were the players not?
So tell me,
they were the low one on the totem
Hold on,
pole all the time. So
right around the corner from where I grew up, literally around the corner, a neighbor of mine was George Meany, who was the most powerful labor union leader in the history of this country, the head of the AFL-CIO. You got the AFL-CIO, you got the Teamsters, you got a million organizations in a million different places. Why is the friggin' baseball union the most powerful union in America when these owners are on the other side? It seems like for no reason whatsoever. The owners just give in every time. I'm not saying I'm pro-owner or pro-player, but why is the baseball union as powerful as it is?
the only thing I can say about that is they're solid. The players are solid. They solidify. They come, when they go into stuff, they come in and they like, we believe in what we're doing. This is the right thing. I'm fighting for myself. But like Harper put it in general, I'm doing it. I want to do it. I'm going to do what's right for the guys that are coming. I want to try to find the best thing that we can figure out for the game and for everybody to be able to get the best thing.
But every union wants that. Why does it work in baseball?
But that's the thing. Those guys, and that's what it's always been with the union. I think the guys have just said, this is where we're going to stand. And sometimes you got to draw a line in the sand, and we're willing to do what we needed to do. So, I mean, and it's happened that way.
Chris, you and the AFL-CIO, the AFL-CIO,
And I'm a
SAG-AFTRA?
Teamster. No.
I'm in SAG-AFTRA, and we get reports sometimes of things. Sometimes we get what we want, sometimes not. Obviously, I'm a pea in a huge pot, obviously. But baseball, it just seems like it's different. Football, not guaranteed. Obviously, you get hurt. Basketball is guaranteed. Hockey is. Baseball doesn't seem like they want to.
Well, then the other thing that is part of the mix is that the
Join
owners have said, we want to be able to pay as much as we want. And that, to
They're
me,
competitive guys,
is again, that allows the players
luxury
to
tax.
have.
And some of the owners have more means than the others.
Right, and those guys are the ones who are pushing the envelope to say, we don't want that. George Steinbrenner, the Yankees.
And nobody made Juan Soto. Nobody made them give him that much money, or anybody else either. That's a fair statement.
Yeah.
Very fair. Bryce Harper, same thing.
And the Dodgers, whatever God bless them.
I have no problem with the Dodgers doing it all.
I have no problem at all. And pretty much until the very end last year, Dodgers, they were very beatable.
Very beatable.
And
almost by us.
Yeah. So you can try to do it all you want. There's going to be the talent is out there, even with teams that are not even on the radar. If they piece it together and and that talent lives up to capability, and starts believing and they're playing unselfishly, it's not a me, and start doing things and have that good clubhouse stuff, you'd be surprised what team might sneak in there and do some damage. That's why people like the Brewers so much. Like, look at that team the way they played last year.
You know what team has the best young rotation in baseball right now? You can't say for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The friggin' Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, God, yeah, man.
Never mind Skeens. They got other guys, too. But when
they got some arms there, man.
Yeah.
They got some capability right there to hurt some people.
But when they're up for free agency, they're going to go. Tampa used to be great at scouting but they'd have to time it so all their guys.
They're the farm systems to the
Yeah.
big. They're the big league farm system to the to. I'm looking forward to seeing some guys pitch. Yeah.
Who?
I mean, just in general, some of the young guys that are coming up. I've heard. I mean, just been hearing things. Yeah.
Mizorowski. See what we did with the apple last night? The coach was sitting there at home plate. He had an apple on his head, and he knocked it off with a pitch, like 80 miles an hour. Could have hit the guy right in the head. He's not wearing a helmet. Like, dumbest thing I've ever seen, but it worked.
Yeah, I got different words for that, but yeah, you said it.
You ever do stunt like that?
No. You know, it's like, to me, like how they do it, it's standing with an apple on your head and somebody shooting the air at it. You know, no, that's not happening. What if the guy had to sneeze and he was trying to hold it? You know, I mean, whatever.
All right,
or
Tommy.
had to sneeze. No.
Oh, hey, Jolly.
Yeah.
You were talking about the energy for the Eagles and stuff in the playoffs. How about the energy in that Super Bowl? I felt like that was one of the most lackluster Super Bowls that has ever happened, and it was like a snooze fest. I mean, finally there were some touchdowns in the second half of that game, and obviously when nobody gets in the end zone,
I happen to be in the best place.
That.
I happen to be in the best place for that, Belize.
Yeah.
When that happened,
Place to be
and
for
it was
anything.
absolutely. We started trying to watch it. You know, we were outside about a. It was at night, obviously, but it was getting dark.
They're ahead of us, right? An hour?
No, they're behind us, but it was getting dark. Yeah. I mean, whatever it is, it was dark here, but it was, and it started raining, so we were all huddled up underneath, and we're just trying to get something to eat. I could care less about it. It was nothing. Yeah, it was 3 and out, 3 or whatever it was.
Yep.
It was
All right,
horrible.
I wanted to ask you this question for a long time.
lame.
Never asked you it, but Mr. Green could also hit. You hit obviously as a kid.
Yeah.
Every pitcher hit as a kid, but
I love bunting too.
you love bunting.
Yeah, that was part of my job.
Get rid of the DH.
Most overrated skill in baseball.
That's never going to happen now.
If I'm a manager and I leave the league in
Much as I hate
sacrifice
it.
bunts a year, I resign. It's the dumbest thing in baseball. We're not going to get into that right now.
Yeah.
If every pitcher that ever lived, in your opinion, this is not an easy question, gets served up a 98-mile-an-hour fastball and gets it on the screws, do you hit it as far as anybody that ever lived?
Nah, I don't know about that. No.
What other pitchers could really, really crack one?
God, man, there was a bunch of those guys.
Like?
I mean,
Larry Christensen had some
You
pretty
believe
impressive
it or
numbers.
not,
LC.
I mean, believe it or not, Mitch Williams.
Really?
Mitch Williams had some light tower power, as they say. You know,
Mitch Williams?
He would go out there. I mean, BP, so I'd be hitting stuff in the upper deck up there with Stargell.
Like Ichiro.
Yeah.
People don't realize, but
Yeah,
Ichiro wasn't a pitcher.
I mean, Mitch, they love to do it. There's a lot of guys, I mean, good athletes. Does that mean they can hit? No, they had power, but that mean, do you put bat to ball? Mitch was a better athlete than you think. Mitch was a good athlete, back in his day.
But he wasn't a big guy. I mean,
well, Mitch is bigger than you think he is. Just
not
like
you are.
People thought I was. I walk up on people and say, "You don't look that big on TV." I said, "I look this big on TV. I look this big on TV too, depending on what size TV you got." I said, "You don't realize how big these guys are until you walk up on them." So Mitch was a good 6'3", every bit of it. If not more. And he was a good athlete. Back in the day, for your knees and getting stuff banged up and stuff like that.
All right, now we're talking DH. What do you expect this year from Kyle Schwarber? More of the same? Another, productive year as far as home runs batted in? Is he going to be in the leadoff spot potentially? Are they going to mess around with
they're not going
where
to
he
change
hits?
too much. Nothing, I don't think, too much. But
Trey and Crawford have to be at the top of the lineup.
That's what I'm thinking. But
either order, whatever.
Schwarber's pretty much proved no matter what, he's going to do what he does.
See his first at bat of the spring training.
He's going
to hit the ball to Jupiter.
And if he stays status quo, and if that bat speed doesn't leave him instantly, like
you said, the health
something
stays
stupid, the health stays there. There's no reason I'm seeing. The power is not going to be there.
He's got
is he going to hit 55? If he's going to hit, is he going to hit 55 home runs? I don't know.
But he's
but he's the capability. To hit 30 or more, yeah.
He's like Utley. He's got that short swing.
Yeah.
Utley could never hit the ball as far as Schwarber did, but he hit the home run. You see Schwarber take this little chop at the ball, and the ball winds up in the 19th deck. How does he do it?
See, the pitcher's nightmare. I'd rather give one that hits in the 19th deck than go that 6 inches over the wall. But guess what? That 6 inches of the wall might as well be not in the 19th deck. It don't matter about the power. Does he center the ball up to do it? and he tends to do that more often
I don't
than
think
a
he
lot of
tries to
other
hit him
guys. And I
either.
think his approach last year changed a little bit more. He was doing, and that's why you saw him do some things that he did. His average was a little bit higher, and that's the guy we got to have.
Absolutely.
That's the guy we got to have.
Mark McGuire once said, "Why do you hit so many home runs?" He goes, "Because I don't try to hit home runs."
No.
He says, "I try to hit line drives, and I'm strong enough to hit home runs."
Yeah, he puts a good swing on it, and that's what it's called.
How about Topper? Is he on the hot seat this season?
Great question.
I mean, at the end of this
That's
year,
the first guy who goes. The coaches get blamed,
But a 10-game early season losing streak, obviously, you got to know how that happened in a million ways. Is he susceptible right away? I don't think.
I
he
don't
really
think
is.
so. I don't think he's susceptible right away, because there's some accountability that has to be on the field. They got the guys. Just because you get down early, you have a bad run early, don't mean you can't come back from it. Hey, a la Braves, it's been proven. You don't give up. It's quick to pull triggers and poor woe is me instantly type thing. You find out what you got when the old adage. You're not. What's the old adage? Make sure you're only. I gotta figure this out real quick.
You're only as good as the cream cheese
No.
you used on the toast last night.
It's not how good you are when you're at your best. It's how do you survive.
Yeah.
And when you're not.
Yep.
Do they find ways to keep their head above water when they're not playing that good, or things are chips down, or you lose a couple guys? Can they stay right there to give them a chance when they do get healthy, a la Dodgers?
Yeah.
So when they get healthy, bang, they go.
Couple more quick ones before we leave. Chris, Don Mattingly, what's he going to do for this team? Bench coach.
I don't know. I'm not sure what effect a bench coach
gonna
has.
work with the
I
hitters, Rob.
I like the name Don Mattingly. He's a baseball guy. He's a lifer. Seems like he's.
What did the name Larry Boa do for teams and stuff like that? I mean,
What's he
it's the
like,
same type of-
99 now? It's unbelievable.
He's in better shape than all of us.
incredible.
But it's the guy holds water and respect in the game of baseball, I think.
Mattingly or both? Or both?
Both.
Yeah.
Now, I think these era guys, today's player need to take a step back and look at these guys, where they come from and who they were and what they bring to the table more often than I think they do. Yeah, I think they need to realize what these guys have been through and why those guys are winners. They're winners. They've been a part of that.
How much do you think that selection or that combination of Topper and Don Mattingly was something that Topper selected or was consulted about? It seems like that relationship is important, but does that hire get made by Dombrowski, or is that somebody who
I think
Thompson says,
Remember,
hey,
his son's in
it
the
goes through
organization as well.
the baseball operations side, the head guys that got the thing. It's not
But
just
Preston's
Topper
the
making the
assistant general manager.
Obviously, Topper wants it, but they want to bring somebody there that's going to make the team better, and they feel like that he's going to do that. And there's no reason why you wouldn't think he wouldn't make that team better with the experience that he's had.
One more question we have time for. Simple question. End of the year, National League East is won by, Chris?
Gosh, I like the Mets this season.
I can never like the Mets. Something always happens to them. I don't root for anybody to get hurt, obviously, but something's going to go on. I think it's going to happen to the Phillies and the Braves. I kind of agree with Chris.
You just don't want to say Mets.
I just don't want to say Mets.
Yeah.
If they play to the capability, they'll win.
You know I'm right. You just can't admit it.
No, I don't think I will bet you on it right now. Something's going to happen. It's like the Jets. You put that uniform on, something happens to you. I don't know what it is.
People say it's the water about the bagels that make the bagels so good up in New York, right? This might be the water that has the Mets too.
So who do you think wins it?
I'm not going to. I'm say status quo, but I'm saying the Phillies are going to be there. Why? I think their pitching is going to do it at the end. I think they're going to. There's some guys are going to step up and do the things that they need to do. They got the capability to do it. And there's no reason why I'm not going to go against the grain right now.
I guess I feel like the Mets, since we last played baseball, have gotten a little better, and the Phillies have kind of stayed about the same. And we'll see how that all plays out.
Well, if the pitcher does his thing, it comes down to pitching.
Tell me, a book just walked into the room, Snow White.
I know.
Do you know this woman?
That's my queen. Yeah, my queen, Miss Wendy Darling.
Yes, sir. Hi, Wendy. All right, we're going to go to dinner with Wendy at Bistecca by Il Molino. Had a great time, Chris. Thank you so much, and let's do it again soon.
Great conversation, guys.
Yeah, great to hang with you, Jolly. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, it has been. I haven't heard both of these voices in forever.
They're wonderful.
Great conversation. Always good to talk baseball and sports in general. Yep.
You got it. Let's do it again here at the beautiful Mount Airy Lodge at Mount Pocono. Chris Ermer, Tommy Green. Thanks to Ben Jones.
I'm the main proponent of the 4-point field goal.
There are
that's
Steve
me.
Lawler.
Hey, make it a 4-point field goal. Hey, it's got to be 50 yards.
Thanks to Steve Lawler. Thanks to Lee Alexander. And thanks to everybody. Thanks to you for listening. We'll be back with All In sometime soon. Coming up to Mount Airy Casino Resort, I'm Paul Jolovitz. Saying good night, everybody. Go Phillies.
You're listening to 1490 WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.3 W297CL Levittown.
And now, Jonesy with the Glenn Jones Radio Experience.